He's class, bro. I really rate their players, and if it just went Arsenal, I wouldn't mind them winning things. But that's the thing. This is why Manchester City are completely irrelevant. Is because we come from a generation where Manchester City were completely a non-team. They were a mid-table relegation battling team. So growing up, we didn't have anyone who supported Manchester City, and now that they win it, first of all, it's going to be tainted with these 115 charges. I don't care what anyone says; they're a corrupt team. And second of all, it's just who cares? Like it's boring. Like nobody really cares about you lot. It's just a waste of time in a way. But
It's,
rather them than Arsenal, I don't care.
and you know what? Look, it is what it is. And Man City fans, look, if guys, apparently, apparently I'm live on YouTube now.
Hey, big up everyone on the YouTube, man.
Apparently, I'm live on YouTube now. Are we
Let's
there,
get
people?
it.
Can you hear us? No.
Let's go.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Some are saying you are. Some are saying no. That don't make any sense. Um, but we have some people that have joined or want to join. Shane, I've sent you the invite. I know you want to join in the chat. Let's bring someone who wants to join the show already, which is a good start. Let's see if he can join. Hopefully, I've activated him. Um,
Yeah, I can see that it's live on YouTube, by the way.
is it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Do we look good?
Yeah,
Do I look good? I don't
yeah,
really care
it's
about you looking
shining.
good. I'm
Shining. I
selfish.
think there might be a little bit of a delay, but it looks
That's
good.
fine. That's normal.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
long as
yeah,
we're good to go.
yeah.
Okay,
You're
we
looking
are
good. You're looking good.
active. We are active people. Thank
We
God. I
here,
don't
we
know
here.
how. I don't know how that happened, but it's happened, which is good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Look. Okay. Hold on. Oh, we have who we have. We have.
I think this is Sam.
Can we get your name, my bro, and who you support and what you want to speak about?
Baji, Sat Sri Akal. Salam alaikum, Baji.
Baji wa
Alaikum
Islam.
assalam.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I've just saw the City Wolves game, and I just
Mhm.
came back. Saw that you're live on playback.
Yes, we are indeed. Remind us. Remind us. Who do you support?
City.
Oh, you're a City fan.
Ah,
Oh, just when we were talking about City and fans, and okay, so do you think there's a twist in the tail left, or do you think you're gonna win?
mhm.
I do not want any more twists. Please just let it end the way it should have. Let it the way it should be. I'm done every year in this run and having those
Like
twists
what
and
twists?
turns.
Like, can I,
Just
What
Sam,
one
Sam,
twist?
year.
Sam, Sam? What twists and turns have you? You don't have any twists and turns. Yours is a straight line when it comes to the end of the
Literally.
season.
Come on, come on. It's you. It's you who are saying that you have a straight line.
But
We do have
we're
a
Every
not.
straight
time
line.
Liverpool has been on our back, every year we have been being brought to our brink. Every year.
Look, I don't think you got anything to worry about this time, right?
No, it's not. It's not like that. No, 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 no. I disagree with that. I mean, if you look at Arsenal Bournemouth, and then we look at whenever the Arsenal played at 12:30, we had a 5:30 game. And both of us were like that. Someone should drop points. Someone should drop points. It's not just like that. We were quite chilling enough that okay, it's fine. We have to do our job. I mean, we do have to do our job, but still we're keeping sideways tabs on Arsenal's as well. I mean, hey, that's human tendency that we were still keeping sideways tabs on. Like maybe some like who knows, Dominic Solanke became a Golanke or like who anyone can do anything maybe, but it didn't happen. So we had to do our job. Now Wolves is I expected a KG game because we lost against Wolves in September. So everyone was like, maybe Wolves can do a double on us. And I mean, somewhere down the line, we do have like a 5% thought in our head that maybe that could happen. Maybe. Like, we could have a bad days as well. And in these runs, we cannot afford to have bad days. But hey, if it's there, then we have to take it on our chin. And I was surprised because we blamed them 5-1. And I was like,
You know
and
what,
with a
Sam?
team who was playing a 5-2-3, we were playing a five at the back. And it's like, are we playing a low block team when we are scoring five? Like, what's happening? What's happening over here? What's up? Is David Silva our lucky charm? If he is, then bring him for every game till the end of the season.
David Silva.
Yeah, he
No,
was
Oh,
there
you
at the
mean man?
game.
he was in the crowd. He was like a.
Oh, right.
What
Okay.
was the occasion?
I think so. There was no particular occasion. He was just there. There was nothing of some sort that there was an occasion. I think so. He decided that there is a life outside his home. Let me explore the life outside that as well. So he went to
Sam,
he went to Real
Sam,
Sociedad. They gave him a
I,
beautiful walk of honor,
Sam,
and
I'll be
then he
honest with you. You
came.
don't need you don't need no lucky charms of David Silva or any other player. You guys are gonna get the business done. But what I want to ask from you, because as I was saying before on the stream, and maybe you heard, I don't know many Manchester City fans, so I'm gonna ask you some
Sure.
questions in regards to support of Manchester City and how it actually feels, because
Okay.
I wanna understand what it's like. You guys are on course to win unprecedented fourth Premier League trophy in a row. This is like history, football
Inshallah.
history. No, I can't say for his fault. Okay, you're gonna win the fourth one. You won a treble last season. How does it feel for
Yeah.
you as a Manchester City fan? And where do you see does it still fill you with excitement, winning Premier Leagues, winning trophies, season on season? And maybe it's a stupid question. Maybe it is because you've got so
No,
much
no, no. It is
success,
not
you've won
stupid.
so many things. But with
Questions are stupid,
from
brother.
my
Questions are
perspective,
stupid.
if Liverpool were to win the league, say if we were to win the league this season, honestly, I don't think
Okay.
anyone would see me for about 2 weeks. I would lose my mind. I'll go crazy and I'll be partying. It would just be insane scenes. But as a Manchester City fan, as you've seen it so many times, does it still fill you with that same
Yeah.
excitement?
Yes, it does. It does because see, even we're coming at the back of treble, we do know that there is something which is distinctive. A four-peat is distinctive. That is one for not just for the history books, but there's something which is distinctive, which is only associated with this club. That we have the only team in England who has done four-peat. No one else has done that. So this is something which is a first for this club. So we always keep that in mind. There's always back in the head. Even this is not just another season, another trophy. This is different. This has a meaning attached to it. This has a value attached to it. So that is why I think so. This particular season holds value on that front as well, and for the
Yeah, I
fact that
understand.
we are, and also like believe it or not, this is a time for all of us as a City fans to accept that we are coming at the end of Pepera. We are coming at the end, and there will be a drop off. I hope that they're not, but if it is, I won't be surprised. We would see a drop off in that. So these are those twilight years, I could say that could happen. Like the reality started to hit us. So the level of, so this is where the transition could begin. And if there is a massive contrast in that, that could be a problem for the club in the end. So now we kind of be looking at that maybe if we are keeping our levels at the way we have been in the last 3 4 years, let's try to compete. Let's try to win as much as possible so that maybe with a drop off we can understand that we have seen our seasons and we will have
Yeah,
to see the other end of the world.
absolutely. And then today, obviously, you won 5-1 against Wolves. And do you know what? Wolves have been an excellent team this season. But I wanted to just touch on,
Okay,
obviously, Erling
so
Haaland.
I'll
He's
be
on
quite
course now
childish and say
for,
that
yeah.
hold that, Roy Keane, hold that.
What
League
did
Roy
two
Roy,
Keane.
striker, eh?
what did Roy Keane
Roy,
say?
League
oh,
two
yeah, he said
striker,
League,
Oh,
eh?
League
League
Two
Two
League two
striker.
striker.
No,
striker.
but that's actually a good segue because it leads on to the question I was going to ask. Obviously, he scored 4 goals today. And do you know
Yeah.
what? To many football fans across the world, we all thought, oh, it's not been Haaland's best season because obviously he set insane
Yeah,
heights
yeah,
last year
100%,
with
100%.
36 goals in the league. But he's on, if I'm not mistaken, 25 goals this season, and
25 goals.
he hasn't played as much games as he did last season. But the question I want to ask you was,
Yeah,
he's only 23 years old, I
yeah,
think. What heights do you see Haaland
yes.
reaching, and where do you think he will, when his career is said and done, where will he rank amongst Premier League strikers, Manchester City strikers in comparison to Aguero? Has he already eclipsed Aguero in your eyes, and across
No,
the
no,
world?
no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
Because that
The
conversation will
reason
be
because
had soon. The
we
reason why
have
I
to,
say
but we're
this
too early
because
to say that.
I know
We
the
are too
reason
early
why
because it's the second season.
I know, but the reason why I'm saying this is because this is meant to be a
Yeah.
bad season for Erling Haaland, and he scored 25 goals. There's still 3 games to go. It's not conceivable that he'll score another 6, 7. And if he was to score 7 goals, let's say, that's joint
Hmm.
with the previous highest Premier League record for someone who's had a bad season.
Yeah.
So, but that's my question to you, Sam. Where do you see Haaland
Yeah.
and like how his career is going to project over the next few years?
Uh, this is very early. But see, this is the second season at City. Okay, so I think so. It's quite early to even kind of even have a like a very vague projection of where he would go, because we have seen players that he, even if they go for a good run of 3, 4, 5 years, there will be a time when they will hit a bad run, and they'll kind of hit a deadlock, and then you might have a different question to that. So at this point, comparing with Aguero, comparing with any of those striking legends,
It's hasty.
be in the Premier League.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, though. Apparently, this is meant to be his bad season. This is the point I'm trying to raise. So, like, apparently, this is Haaland's weakest season. He hasn't been playing well. He's got
You know,
25 goals. That is absolutely insane in the Premier League.
so
It's only
now I
it's
look at it
insane
two,
to me.
two ways. Now I look at it in two ways. Like from a stats point of view, from a GNA stat point of view, you could say that no, it's not as bad as we seen that. But on the other hand, the number of chances he missed, when you look at that, the percentage of chances he missed, you could understand that, oh, that's bit different. Like that's
Yeah,
bit,
absolutely.
you could say that's bit concerning. But then you also have to believe that the team is the levels of the team has dropped, because when Gundogan have left, when Mahrez have left, and when the midfielders, the players that we brought in, you could see that it's not the same that it was in 2022 2023. You could see the difference, not as stark, but the difference is there. The difference is 100% there, and like so that's also kind of plays a little bit of a factor in that. So
Yeah.
it is, I could say that it is not a it's not an excellent season. The last season was like freak season. Okay, 2020 2023 was a freak season. No one has expected, not even City fans have expected that. How can someone come and score 40, 50 to 50 plus goals? That was unheard of for someone who come at the back of a Dortmund game, and then he comes and
But
bangs
like, yeah,
this.
but if you
But
look at the stats for this season, it doesn't look like it was a freak season. I thought it was
no,
initially.
it
I
was
thought
not a
he
freak
won't be able
season.
to.
I agree.
But this season again, he's hitting a goal a game, more or less. He's played 28 games. He's got 25 goals, more or less a goal a game.
The thing is, the thing
Insane
with
freak
Haaland
numbers.
standards are different. That's the problem. Haaland standards are different. His standards, the standards that we see of a Premier League striker who comes in a season, or when he moves into a second season, the standards that we have laid earlier, this guy has broken that whole mold, and is like, listen, I have my own standards. My standards are different from the standards that we have seen of other strikers in Premier League. So when you look at that, the season that he came, or the first season that he came, the first season that he had at City, those standards are now being seen as his standards. Although those standards are unreal, you cannot expect that to hit him, to have a player hit the second season or second consecutive seasons to have those number of goals. But but anyone, be it a fan or be it a pundit or be it even but when they scrutinize Haaland as like the last season what he has, let's keep those standards over there. And I mean, and that's how it's been throughout the season. So my whole thing is that the standards for Haaland are being distinctive as compared to the standards have been for other strikers. And I think so the same could happen, let's say, for even Nunes. If Nunes has a very freak season next season, let's assume Nunes could have potentially a freak season, then the standard would elevate it for him as well.
Yeah, look, I look. It's the Haaland debate is it's not boring. It's just interesting because he's not everyone's cup of tea, but he doesn't need to be. And I always say this. I say this even for the Nunes debate, and even Harry Kane has got his detractors and critics. But a goal scorer is born to score goals.
That's
And
it.
number nine
100%.
is meant to score goals. But Sam, it's been wonderful chatting to you. We've got a few other callers that want to are on the stage and been
Of course.
waiting patiently. But
Let's
thank
just
you
chat
very
and
much.
ठीक
see.
है बाजी पे चलता हूँ.
TK Merabai, hopefully you stay tuned in and listen to the rest of the call. We might be able to.
आप भी सलामत रहे, खुश रहे, आबाद रहे.
बहुत मेहरबानी Merabai. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mabdi. It's a great talking to you.
Great
All the
talking to you,
best.
mate.
Thank you.
Sam.
Thank
Just
you.
some comments from the YouTube. Uh, the goat says, "My first Anfield visit tomorrow. I'm gassed. Big up the
Oh,
goat. Hope you enjoy yourself, my friend." Um, we need promo says, "I need City to win the league." We've just been speaking about that, bro. Um, but yeah, let's get some. Who else have we got on the stage here? We got Hanno and we've got Shane. Shane, I know, is a Liverpool fan, so we'll Shane, if you're there, we'll keep you holding for a second or two. Hanno, I think, is a first-time caller. I'm going to ask him to unmute her or him to unmute themselves and tell us what you want to speak about and who do you support.
Yes, Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you, my friend.
Okay, yeah. Of course, I support the biggest club in London, the Mighty Chelsea.
The
oh,
biggest
okay.
club in London, and then you said the
You
Chelsea.
said Chelsea.
Interesting. I like the confidence, Hanno. Okay, so you
Um,
are the biggest club in London because
um, because
You spent a
of course,
billion
European
pounds.
success, and we've won more Premier Leagues in the Premier League era than Arsenal.
no, that doesn't count. I hate this Premier League era, Hanno. Please don't mind, but you sound very young. You can reveal or you don't have to reveal your age. Are you under 23?
Yeah, under 23.
So that's why, in your opinion, Chelsea is the biggest club in London because you've won the most titles since Sky brought the Premier League, right?
They've won the most
Yeah.
titles since a Russian billionaire bought the club.
Since a certain Russian
A
billionaire came
certain
on the
Russian
scene
billionaire.
and changed
No,
your
no.
life. Is that right?
That's basically what happens.
Yeah,
Yo,
basically.
big up
But
Robert. Robert is another Chelsea fan who's in the building. Robert, this is your chance to come and cook me and tell me I'm wrong. Come in the building and request. You can come on stage and back up Hanno because Hanno is telling us Chelsea
biggest
is
club.
the biggest club in London.
so yeah, but yeah, I just want to touch on that Haaland thing that is mentioned. I think Haaland has dropped off a level,
Okay.
not just in terms of goal scoring, but just I think in the way he plays. But that has also been because of the players they have lost this season. Your Gundogan, your Morris. So and let's not forget De Bruyne was out for like most of the season. So that's another key part of Haaland's game compared to last season that was not there. So I think that has happened, but it's unreal. Um, like 25 goals in 28 games is so really good. Unfortunately, he won't win the Golden Boot, of course.
You say his
Really,
numbers have dropped off. I mean, weren't they meant to do, like he couldn't have carried on like that, Hanno? Like, how can a man carry on scoring? How many goals did he score last season?
He scored 36 last season, but he played 35 games. He scored 25 this season and played 28. If anything, the numbers are very aligned. They're very similar. He's played 8 less games at this stage, and he's got 25 goals. He's a freak of nature. The guy is a robot. I understand where you're coming from in terms of his performances. I think his performances this season are a lot worse than last season. I think last season his build up and his passing and link up play was a lot better last season, I believe. This season hasn't looked the best. If he's not scoring, is he even on the pitch? But do you know what, Grizz? As you said before, you're a striker. You're meant to get goals, and if you're scoring that many goals, bro.
Look, I'm not one of these. Okay, because I work in fan media, right? And there is platforms that I have to try to give just football unbiased opinions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've trained myself to get away from the tribalism,
Yeah,
right? As much as I can. It's not easy. I'm not a professional.
It's
not easy on repeat, right?
Yeah.
I tried to put that aside, and I don't give. If I was a Man City, if I was Haaland, if I was Pep, if I was a fan, I couldn't give a shit what people think about Haaland, Mohamed. Honestly, I couldn't give a shit what Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. He's meant to score goals for us. He's going to enable us to win title after title after title. That's all I care about.
That's it. Absolutely.
Are we the same? Like, imagine Nunes. He's the butt of jokes. He's a can't trap a ball, loses control. But if you had the ability to score goals or the finishing ability of Haaland, I couldn't give a shit about his
I
side.
couldn't care, bro. Exactly my point. Like, if Nunes was to score 30 goals this season, propel us to a league, do you think I care if the ball's ricocheted off his body 152 times and he's offside 1,000 times? I don't care because we won the Premier League and he scored 30 goals in this season. And you know what? On another season, another planet, that possibly could have been the case instead of hitting the post and crossbar. But listen, I think we're saving that talk because it's going to be a big one for Nunes on another time. But you're absolutely spot on. Doesn't matter as long as you're getting the goals. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But I know I'm slightly surprised why you don't want to talk about your club. Is there a reason why you don't want to speak about?
No. I was going to get onto our club, but I feel sorry for Haaland because he won't win the Golden Boot this season.
He will.
It's going to be
you're back in
Chelsea
Cole Palmer.
youngster.
No, he
Cole
will.
Palmer.
He will. What's the situation? Someone ran up us so far. What's the goal situation?
He's trying to say that Cole Palmer, obviously Chelsea fan, is going to sneak up on him. That's it, bro.
Possible?
Yeah,
Well,
he's only like
Haaland is on
6
25.
goals.
Palmer's on 20.
Oh, so it's not possible. Come on.
It's not far off.
Come on, Hanno. You're 5 goals off a machine that's just kicking into form. The Terminator is terminating right now. And you think Mohammed's got me doing it all right. Can I just delete that? I don't want anyone clipping me up. I done a Cole Palmer.
Hey, yo, bro, we got to be real. Listen, you got to appreciate the kid. Okay. The kid is cold. He is cold.
If Palmer scores a hat-trick tomorrow, I'm going to put that video up. Go onto YouTube. Look for that clip of your grid. Post it.
For the Chelsea fans and as you call them, the biggest club in London, as you say, I'm quite happy for you in a more of a petty way, like a pity way, because you spent £1 billion and it's the one guy that you weren't expecting much from who's actually delivered. That's why I don't mind celebrating this guy. He's class. He's a great player. But let's talk about your season. Let's talk about Chelsea Football Club and the expectations that were probably set at the summer because you spent ridiculous amounts of money. I will never forget the summer that he's had after he's nabbed Lavia and Caicedo from our hands, and we're seeing tweets all over the world saying, Liverpool are our club, we own Liverpool are whatever. Do you get me? Chat to me. What do you think of your season so far? Talk to me about Enzo. Talk to me about Caicedo. Talk to me about Romeo Lavia, the guy you spent 60 million on and he's played like 5 minutes. Chat to me about Wacko Jacko up front. Chat to me about all these players.
No. Wait, hold on. Respect Jackson. How many goals did Nunes get last season?
How many what?
Bro, goals.
How many goals did Nunes get last season?
Why do we have to compare him to Nunes? Just speak on Jackson.
Talk about it. Listen, we know what Nunes is. We're not trying to say Nunes is this world.
Just speak on
Jackson. He's got 11 goals. We spent only 35 million on him. You guys spent 70 plus million on Nunes.
This is not a debate or a comparison session. We are not here to troll you about comparing him to Nunes. We know Nunes hasn't lived up to the reputation. We are accepting of Nunes has been, in my opinion, would you say flop, Mohammed?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Without doubt. Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy to criticize Jackson, or are you going to actually defend him and say, no, you can see potential? Because many people, look, Hannah,
let's get this straight.
Many Liverpool fans can see the potential in Nunes. Many Liverpool fans think Nunes will come good eventually, right? I personally don't think so. That's just me. I want to know what you think about Jackson. Are you honest enough after watching him play? Is he really baby Drogba?
Is absolutely not. The only good thing about him and Nunes, the one thing they have in common is their movement is good. That's the only thing. Because Nunes' movement is good. He gets in the right positions. Same as Jackson. But they can't head a ball. They can't score. They can't do anything. They're rubbish. But he has got 11 goals. He's got 11 goals.
So, with that being said, would you start Jackson next season as your starting striker, or would you
Absolutely not.
In my opinion, I think he's probably best suited on the wing. If anything, I don't think his worst quality as a striker is finishing. It's mad. It's actually quite ludicrous. Probably he does work hard. You're right. Overall game is okay, but let's not talk about Jackson too much, because when you signed him last season, he wasn't one of the players that was being lauded. It was the 115 player man, Enzo, the other one for 110 million in Caicedo. I think he spent like 100 million on Fofana, and I don't think I've ever seen him in a Chelsea shirt in my life. Let's chat about these guys.
Injury problem.
But that's my whole point. You spent 100 million pounds on him, and he doesn't play.
So yeah, Fofana is the centre back version of Reece James. So yeah, I think even before the season,
because the question I was going to lead to is this season. Obviously, it's a write-off. Like, okay, you can call it whatever you want, rebuilding or progress. Do you see Poch keeping his job? Where do you see Chelsea finishing next season? What do they need to do in the summer to improve? Let's talk Chelsea. Do you need another 1 billion? That's the question I guess I'm trying to ask.
I'll get to you spoke there about Enzo and Caicedo. Enzo, I don't think Poch and Enzo work together well, because Poch likes his runners up and down. Enzo, he wants to get onto the ball, he wants to spray the passes. Caicedo, he's done all right, but we still keep an eye on him, because again, I don't think the Poch helps Enzo and Caicedo. I think that's why if we're going to stick
so you're turning on Poch, right, Hannah? You're turning on Poch. Yeah, I think Poch is put in an awkward position by the club, the directors.
Yeah, no, look, the directors gave Poch the wrong players for his system, and you can see that. Because there's no way in hell Poch, if you look at all of his teams that he's managed, Tottenham, Southampton, that he doesn't want runners in his midfield. That's why he likes Gallagher, because Gallagher's a runner. He covers ground.
Okay, listen, we're going to keep the show moving, because we've got, 3 or 4 people wanting to join in the chat. That's amazing. Thank you very much for all being patient. I'm going to try to recognize some of you. Don't recognize you people in the chat. Let me know who you guys are, and then I can know if you're a Liverpool fan, I can bring you on with another Liverpool fan that we can have a Liverpool conversation. If you're Chelsea fans. But Hannah, I'm going to leave you with one question, and I need an answer from you very quickly. Are you sticking with Pochettino, or are you doing the Chelsea thing?
The Chelsea way. It's a Chelsea way.
You're sacking him.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Hannah, speak soon. Hopefully you get another manager that you to sack next season as well. But hope you've joined my page, first and foremost.
Of course.
Excellent. You're a winner.
Take care. If you haven't,
all the best, Hannah.
All the best. Cheers, guys.
Nice one. Look after yourself. Okay, we have who we got on the stage, Mohammed?
So we've got Shane.
Okay.
Yeah, Liverpool fan Shane. Who did ask a good question in the chat. Do you sell Reece James?
Shane is a regular on the call-in show, so Shane knows how it runs. Shane, welcome to Playback as well. Shane, you're now live on YouTube and on Playback. How does it feel, first and foremost?
I like the Playback. The Playback's nice, man. It's a lot. It's easier accessible.
Yeah, you don't need to be in your camera all set up like me and Mohammed here. Like, we're professionals, but really, you can just join in from your phone, wherever you are, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I like the Playback a lot. I think that's a good move.
Exactly. Where are you from, Shane? You got American accent?
Because Barry's letting me down again today, but Mohammed is here.
Yeah, I don't think we've spoken before, Shane. Well,
no,
we're a Liverpool fan, so we're already brothers.
Of course. I wanted him to answer that question. If he'd sell Reece James this year, I think that's an interesting question to the Chelsea fans.
The way I look at these kind of questions is, what would we do?
I think we'd sell him. He has talent, but he has no availability, and that's one of the biggest qualities you need in a player. If he's not going to be fit, why keep him? in my opinion. He's shown a pattern of just being completely unavailable.
I think it's time to bring in Robert, who's a Chelsea fan, who's given 3 embarrassing emojis to that response. Shane, you good with that? Can we bring in
that's
Robert?
fine. Yeah, that's fine. He can come on in.
Hopefully, Robert will accept the invite. Well, he sent in a request earlier, and I couldn't see it, so now
He's probably the perfect one to answer the question.
Well, this is it. Yeah, I mean, we can discuss. Mohammed, what would you do?
Oh, do you know what? It's an interesting one. Okay, let's put ourselves in those shoes. Trent Alexander-Arnold, injured majority of the season, our vice captain. Obviously, I think RJ's their captain, but let's just say, for the argument, Trent is our vice captain, of course, and he's injured throughout the whole season. And we've got a young player in Conor Bradley who's shown us in glimpses that he is going to be the next big thing at right back. Do you sell or do you keep? That would be such a difficult question to answer. Me personally, I wouldn't, because you know the quality Trent Alexander-Arnold has. And I'm not trying to compare Trent with Reece James. I do not want to start that whole debate again because we know who the better player is.
Some may want to. We can.
I'm not here to hear it because it's literally not a debate. But I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes. So comparing position for position, you see. Because Malo Gusto has been class for Chelsea this season. He's a top class right
back.
The
latter part. Naturally, new player. I get it.
New player. But you know what? I know a Chelsea fan and he doesn't really fancy Malo Gusto that much. But obviously, Robert can talk to us about Malo Gusto as well. Personally, I wouldn't get rid of Reece James. You know the quality that he has. He's the captain of the club. You just have to hope that he has an injury-free season next season. And
my problem with him is he's shown every season though he picks up extensive injuries and it's all muscular.
I guess guys
are shot.
Do you know what? A very good comparison is Ibrahima Konate.
And I'd like to talk about him today too.
So then, if you talk about Reece James being injured, I understand he's been injured a lot, but we know Ibrahima Konate's injury record and we know how good he is. So we can compare situation for situation here. So you wanted to talk about Ibu Konate. I'll lead with a question first.
Check this out, guys. Breaking news. Not major breaking news, but something, because this is the beauty of we can do this live and exclusive, and here we go. So we have some breaking news, and it says Jarrell Kwanzaa is in line for a lucrative new long-term contract at Liverpool, but this will not change the club's summer transfer plans, with Liverpool still intending to buy a new left-footed centre-back. Shane and Mohammed, first and foremost, absolutely the right thing to do with Kwanzaa, right?
Of course.
Without doubt. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it's out of him and Conor Bradley for me in terms of the outstanding. Shane, what's that word? Me and Mohammed were looking for a word last week. The outstanding.
Standout. No, breakthrough. I think it was breakthrough.
The breakthrough players. Are we saying that Kwanzaa has been the breakthrough player of the season?
Yeah, I think so. He really hasn't put a foot wrong, except for the United game. The penalty against Palace, but really I thought that was quite soft. But I mean, when he's played, man, he's looked composed. He doesn't look like a 21-year-old. He doesn't look like he just got done playing in League Two. I mean, he looks like he's been there. He knows how to play. He's confident in himself, which I like that a lot. He doesn't seem to show any nerves. So I think it's a great move. Honestly, I think going forward, and that kind of rolls into the Konate chat where, who starting pairing next year for me would be Kwanzaa and Virgil. I think Konate.
Okay.
I mean, towards the end of this year, too. Look at Konate was getting bullied. Mateta absolutely bullied him. Scamacca bullied him. Teams are letting him play with the ball. He's not very good with the ball at his feet, making some rash decisions. He's a very good defender. But there's some, I don't know, man. Konate and a little bit of Jota, too. I think we're coming to a point now where Jota's been there for 4 years. He's only played over 25 games in the PL once. That's a problem.
See how we feel. So we were. It was so easy to put it on the Chelsea fans, right, about Reece James. But now you've mentioned two of my probably current favorites in Konate and Jota. and I'm nervous. I don't know what to say to you. I can't be a hypocrite to Chelsea fans and say sell Reece and then say no, we're going to keep Jota and Konate. I don't know. What are you guys saying?
I think it just depends on price and what the club's looking to do. I want them to stay, but if someone comes in with 60, 70 million for Jota, I'm kind of thinking, okay.
No one's going to come in for that, though.
You never know. The fees are ridiculous. Just,
I think they're going to slow down, though.
Shane,
I think the fees are going to level out this summer.
I hope so. I hope we get back to kind of a balance. But, going forward, part of our issue this year was, I think one of the main issues this year was our defense. If you look at, we have a ton of big chances missed. We've still put up, I think, 75, almost 80 goals this year. We've had 36 against. If we don't, we can only get 12 clean sheets by the end of the season. That's the worst we'll have under any Klopp team. And that's a problem. Wow. And a lot of that is down to the fact that our back line, we don't have a back line that is solidified. Look at Arsenal's back line. It's been unchanged almost the entire season. And that's how we were in our title winning, our title pushing seasons. We need to get back to that. And if we have players such as Konate, injured, Joe Gomez luckily was available, but Matip out for the season. We got to fix that.
Guys, very 1 second. It's becoming a Liverpool show for the next few minutes, guys, because we have got Mush, of course, from Cop and Fracas joining me as well. Mush is in the building. Mush, and of course, we've got Uncle Albert Mohammed. This is Uncle Albert.
Welcome, Uncle Albert.
One of our favorite callers on the call-in show. He is a legend, an absolute legend.
King Albert in the chat.
What I'm going to try to do, guys, is if there's any interference and people, the chat's building up, guys, there's over 120 of you on YouTube. Why haven't you jumped over and joined me on here? It's it's fine. You can stay on YouTube as well. But what I'm saying is, if you join the page, you can link in and you can join, and we can share more stuff and talk more openly. But what I'm going to ask people, let's try to speak one at a time and then mute ourselves when we're not speaking, so there's no interference. But yeah, Shane's here. Uncle Albert is here. Mush is here. Mush, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. What's going on?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
It's been a sunny day in London. Things are good. A Liverpool-free day right now is a good day, unfortunately. So that's been the story of the day, man. Good gym day, and now just thinking about all of these big topics we've got to talk about. But speaking honestly, I think my mind is now excited about what's to come. I'm looking past whatever the close of this season is.
It took us 2 weeks, didn't it?
Yeah, and you have to feel it out, right? You can't act like it's not affecting you. I think it was, and now we're just in a place of, you know what? These same players where we think the worst of, we didn't think the worst of them. We were calling this same team who we have such disdain for, we were calling this team Klopp 2.0 just 8 weeks ago. And we forget that. So this Ibrahima Konate that kept William Saliba out the French squad, he needs to refine that. The likes of, your McAllisters who are winning us games, Endos who are getting Kevin De Bruyne getting taken off the pitch. These are all things that these same players did, bro. So if they can do it once, they can do it again. Maybe we won't see that this season, but there's definitely that in the locker, I think.
Mush makes some great points there, guys, that we can't just suddenly think everything is doom and gloom because we had a bad month. Yes, the timing of that month was absolutely pivotal in terms of our mood and the title. Like, we're all deflated, man.
I'm not minimizing the impact, definitely.
Sure. Go on,
I would argue that our defensive issues have been almost 2 full seasons running now, though.
Okay.
Agree.
If you look at last season and this season, giving up a goal in the first 15 to 25 minutes is, we're almost trademarked for it right now, if we're being honest. Like, we've been very poor.
On the back of that, though, Shane, I think although the defense has been poor, a lot of blame has to be placed on the midfield as well. We did try to compare it to previous Klopp teams, 19, 20, 18, 19 seasons. but they had a workhorse of a midfield in front of them. They had Fabinho, one of the best DMs we've ever seen at Liverpool Football Club, in front of that defence. This season, we've got Szoboszlai, for starters, was a winger attacking midfielder for Red Bull Leipzig. Now he's been asked to play central midfield. He's been asked to cover out right back, left back, everywhere. Like, he just wanted to be like a Henderson. We've got McAllister playing the sixth majority of the season when he's not playing there. We've got Endo, who's come from a relegation battle in Stuttgart, playing there in the sixth. So we do need to put a little bit of emphasis on the midfield as well. It's a new midfield. It's going to grow. We definitely need the number 6. I think that is 100% a priority this season.
I agree with that.
This summer. And then I think because we're not questioning the quality that Jarell Quansah has. We're not questioning the quality that Virgil van Dijk has or Ibrahima Konate. The problem that we have is not the players. It's more the structure. It's more the layout of the team. And I think if we address those issues in the summer, especially the number 6, and then we allow Szoboszlai to continue his preseason, who knows what his Arne Slot's plans are for Szoboszlai. Maybe he wants him to become more of an attacking midfielder in a 4-2-3-1. But if we get that number 6 in and we allow McAllister to play in his natural role as a number 8, I think defense will be fine next season. It has been worrying, has been concerning this season, but I think there's not too much to worry about in terms of the players.
Can I just ask a question then? You said I agree that the midfield is an area that has led to the defense being exploited. But isn't there an argument that even our manager has asked these certain profiles of players, your McAllisters, your Joneses, your Szoboszlais, to play in a way that they are not Gini Wijnaldum and Jordan Henderson, who are unlimited Duracell bunnies. They're not athletic. And I'm not using that as a whip to beat them with. At the end of the day, that's not the players they are, right? So has it been a bit, how can I describe it? Putting square pegs in round holes by the manager, where it's like, I have my way of playing and this has worked for me. And these profiles, even though they can't do it, I'm asking them to do it.
I want to have a go at this before we let Uncle Albert speak, because he's ready to unleash. I can tell his face is getting redder and redder and redder. Yeah, his forehead is sweating. Yeah, and when Uncle Albert's forehead is sweating, he's getting angrier and angrier, or maybe agreeing.
Grace, I'm a black man. I don't blush.
Okay, I can see it, bro. But Mush, I think you make a very good point, both of you. And my opinion on this is, I think, the initial point that Mohamed made about the midfield has to be looked at and is culpable in this situation when you're looking at the defensive nature of Liverpool. So we know 2 seasons ago, our midfield died, right? We know their energy and their legs and everything else that was sort of they were known for, it was non-existent. So therefore, the defense suffered, right? This season we know, and Mush, then you go on to make some cracking points about the profile of player and square pegs in round holes. But I will defend Klopp and in saying that this is what he done with the original midfield, where he chose players and redefined their roles. Gini Wijnaldum was your Szoboszlai, right?
Yeah, he was the left winger at Newcastle. Yeah,
converted him. Alexis McAllister is your new guy that's coming in to sort of play almost the Curtis Jones role, or he's becoming trying to become. Curtis Jones is trying to become your Henderson. He's trying to teach him covering and pressing, right? And it's baby steps, guys. It was the first season. So even though we got excited because the quality of player is good, structure, formation, tactics, triggers, knowing when to press, when not, all these things take time. And so it was never going to be perfect in the first season. Now, obviously, everything has to be scrapped, I think, now, because Jurgen Klopp is leaving and Mr. Arne Slot is coming in. Uncle Albert, how are you? I know
I'm doing very well. I'm trying to adjust. I'm a bit of a technophobe, so I'm trying to adjust to the new technology.
Me and you are old school. We are both struggling. I am sweating as well. Now I know why me and you are sweating. Me and you are sweating because of all of this new technology. But we will be there. We will be there.
We'll get there. I'll get there. Give me a few days.
No, you're good. You're good. So what's your look? Everything the boys have discussed. I've got the news.
I think I think Mohammed and Mush have said pretty much everything I want to say. You know, Grace, I've been complaining that every time Liverpool step on the pitch, there are about 5 or 6 experiments going on at the same time, right? Gakpo is an experiment, playing the
Great
position
point.
he's not used to. Zoboslai is an experiment. Trent is the ultimate experiment. There are too many experiments going on at the same time. It's one of our biggest problems. So you go and scout a player who was the captain of his team, playing as a left-sided forward. You bring him into the team, and for 1.5 seasons, you play him all over the pitch except goalkeeper. And then after 1.5 seasons, the manager comes and tells us, "I made a mistake." And I'm quoting him. Remember, he said it. "I made a mistake with Gakpo. I destroyed his confidence by putting him all over the pitch." What do you think you were going to do? We sold Fabinho. And with due respect to Endo, you don't sell Fabinho and replace him with Endo. You will get exactly what we're getting. Okay? The game is evolving. Okay? Our competitors, the people we compete with, let me say Arsenal and Man City. Okay? They play with 4 centre backs. In fact, Aston Villa does the same. They play with 4 centre backs at the back. What do? We play with a fullback on the right lateral side who doesn't even want to play there. And anybody who wants to dispute what I'm saying, go and look at the goals we conceded against Everton. What was our fullback doing? So we need to solve the structural problems. And I'm glad Mush talks about the structural problem. The structural problems is that our team is unbalanced. Okay? The new coach needs to take a look at his players and say, "You, Grace, you are going to play as the fullback in our team. And the fullback's primary responsibility is to defend that lateral side of the defense. It is not to give killer passes going forward, because we have other people who can give those killer passes going forward too, like McAllister. He did it in a World Cup final. He came back with a trophy. But if it is the case that you really don't want to play full back, go and take your chances with the midfielders and let's hope you win a place there. And let me get a fullback who is willing to play as a fullback."
Albert, do you know what you're talking about? I actually think, and I really want to raise this point, I think this lack of clarity with what the instruction is, or moving between lots of instructions, is where I think Ibrahima Konate has suffered the most. And I'll explain why. Is because Ibrahima Konate's best traits are as a front foot defender. And his main actions where he's successful is when he is front footed. But then at the same time, the expectation of him in the team is to cover the right-sided space behind him. So he is caught between wanting to aggressively attack the ball and also thinking about, do I defend the space behind?
Okay,
and the
so
worst thing in football...
Let me go ahead and make your point with an illustration. Do you remember the first goal we conceded at the Emirates against Arsenal? Remember the first goal we conceded?
Yeah.
Because I was in the stadium, and it's one of the worst days of my life. I actually had to pose as an Arsenal supporter because I couldn't. Grace, it was horrible. It was a disaster, and I was up in the rafters, freezing to death up there. But what happened was that Konate got a very early yellow card, right? Because Trent wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
And then after that, he couldn't attack that wall pass between Zinchenko, Odegaard. And so when the ball went through to Havertz, he knew that any tackle on Havertz will end him a red card. So he just had to trudge behind him, follow him, and hope he could either somebody makes a mistake. And Havertz did make a mistake because Alisson saved the ball, but of course Saka was there to put in the net. So that's an illustration of what you're talking about. But the other imbalance on that side, in fact, there are two others.
Before you carry on, Albert, let's just carry on with this trend talk and analysis, because you have just mentioned that goal against Arsenal. perhaps leaning towards Trent's liabilities defensively, and nobody's saying that he's a superb defender. He's an okay defender, but he's not class. But on the flip side, I want to take you to another Arsenal game, and when Trent Alexander-Arnold, probably one of the best passes of the season from a Liverpool perspective, gave it to Mohamed Salah against Zinchenko, and Mohamed Salah cuts in and scores a wonder goal.
Mohamed, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point, and we'll go there because I just gone past Trent. You see, football is about two things. Football is about two things. You score and prevent the other guys from scoring. So if you are scoring and allowing them to score on you, it's a wash. That's a draw. Okay? But the other thing I was talking about, and Mush talked about, the structure. Remember what we did to Henderson. What was Henderson doing in the last days of his time at Liverpool? He was.
I don't want to remember the last few days.
Right? What has Zoboslai been doing since he came? Covering the void that the fullback leaves. Right? It has even unbalanced Mohamed Salah because Mohamed Salah also is
I disagree.
Albert, I disagree. Robert, wait, 1 sec, sorry. I disagree with your terminology there. And I'll explain why. Is that football is not a perfect balance of perfect footballers, right? There's always certain talented players who other players have to compensate for by doing things for them.
Cristiano, listen. So let us minimize the likelihood. Exactly. Okay.
Albert, when we were at our best, Albert, 1 sec. Albert, 1 sec. When we were at our best, I'm agreeing with you here. But the point I'm trying to make is between 2018 and 2020, when we were imperious defensively, Trent Alexander-Arnold was playing every week. So I don't think it's about the fact that Trent, maybe it's the current way we are playing and our current structure that is causing Trent to be a problem, but it's not Trent the player that is the problem, it's the framework.
You had Fabinho and Henderson who were willing to put in the hard yard. This is
Agree.
Mush and Albert, let me just come in here, please.
Hold on.
Let me quickly come in here because
let me get my thoughts in. Okay, I've been listening to you guys. Let me get my thoughts in because this strength matter is something that Liverpool supporters don't want to talk about.
We're gonna talk today. It looks like we're gonna come.
We're talking about it now.
As soon as you come up with it, somebody tries to stop you from saying it.
No one's gonna stop you.
I'm not saying that Trent is not a phenomenal passer of the ball. I'm not saying he's not a phenomenal free kick taker. Indeed, I see Trent in a double pivot, and I'm saying put a big body around him. Okay? Because we saw Andrea Pirlo playing as part of a double pivot, but what did he have? He had what's his name?
He had Vidal doing all his running.
He also had Matuidi. And then he had that dog, what's his name? The guy who was the terrier on the pitch at AC Milan.
Gattuso.
He had Gattuso. Do that. I am the last person who will tell you take Trent out of the team. I'm talking about the structural imbalance.
No,
because if I am the opposing coach, if I am opposing coach, the first thing I do is put a fast winger where Trent leaves that void. Let him attack the fullback because that stretch of the pitch is 65 yards. You can't leave two people right. And then we have the other problem of Robertson. But Robertson is another topic altogether. So I'm not saying our team has any problems apart from the structural imbalance that needs to be checked. That's it.
Can I come it down?
Guys.
Because the one thing I just wanted to say.
Let me ask you a question. When Conor Bradley came into the team, okay?
This is my whole point that I'm trying to raise to you.
You don't wish any player injury. But when Conor Bradley came into the team, the first match he played was a Chelsea match. I watched that match too.
Yes.
Did you guys not see a difference?
No, but this is my whole point, Albert, and this is
Albert, let Mohammed go now. Albert, don't interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mohammed, go.
No, I want you to just understand one thing. Mush briefly touched on it, but I want to expand on it. During the 2018 and between 2018 to 2020, when we were most dominant, and Trent was playing week in, week out at right back, that right side of the pitch with Mohamed Salah, Jordan Henderson, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and the way they all interchanged on that right side was imperious. It was sensational. It was some of the best football we've seen at Anfield in years. And that season and those years, Trent was predominantly on the right-hand side. He was on the touchline. What you're talking about, the Trent Alexander-Arnold that we're talking about right now, is an inverted Trent Alexander-Arnold. And me personally, I can't stand the whole nonsense behind the inverted playing, like fullback playing inverted. I understand the structure, the build up. You need to have a couple more players in the build up. It helps you build up better. I completely hate it because I think it's taken away a lot of Trent's capabilities and his assets. If we look at this season alone, I think he's only got 4 assists. Previous seasons, when he's played as a right back, as a full-on right back that's touching the touchline.
It's 10 plus year in, year out.
10 plus year in, year out, because he's playing on that right-hand side and he's putting in those balls like Beckham. But now he's more central. He's got more time on the ball, I suppose, because he's so much deeper. For me, it doesn't really work. And I guess that from that perspective, I completely agree with the structure. For me, it doesn't work. The problem that we do have is that with Arne Slot coming in, he likes to invert his right back. And he will be inverting Trent Alexander-Arnold. And me personally, I think he is a right back. I prefer him playing at right back because I've seen freakish numbers and freakish performances as he's played at right back. People like to lambast his defensive capabilities. But if we're actually being honest with each other, as we're Liverpool fans and we watch every game week in, week out, he probably has one mistake every like 4 or 5 games, if that. If you defend it, look, if your winger beats you, that's his whole job. That's what he's meant to do. Your winger is meant to beat his fullback. But with Trent, I see where you're coming from. He is not. I understand why we're inverting because of his technical ability on the ball, his passing ability, his range of passing. But it's taken away a lot from this game. And I just hope and pray that we can go back to that 2018 to about 2021, even 2022 Liverpool team with that right-hand side. I remember there was one game, and you know what? This game is just a random shout. But it was the 21-22 season, and we played against Southampton. I was sat in the not Centennial, it's called the Kenny stand now, Lower Kenny. And the first half, when we had Trent, Henderson, Salah, and they were rotating, and it was just the craziest football I've ever seen live. I've seen so many great players live, but that was just a joy to watch. And I just hope with Arne Slot coming in, he can see that that's probably his best capability.
Before Albert comes back, Shane, some final thoughts before we've got a few callers coming in now. Shane, your final thoughts on the chat that suddenly lit up the show, this Trent structural problem or Trent problem or whatever you want to make of it.
No, I agree. I think it definitely is a structural issue, and we have not got the best out of Trent. I think the inverted thing we need to let go. I was uneasy with it last year because we looked frail at times. We've always looked the best playing that traditional back four and Trent overlapping. But that whole right side, it brings up a whole question of Mohamed Salah's ability now that he's aging and what he used to do on the side as well, paired with Trent. I don't think Mo can do that anymore. And so Arnie's got a big job ahead of him. Trent's also voiced that he wants to be in the midfield. And I think that's a problem going forward, especially with 12 months left on his deal. And how do we get the best out of him? Because in an inverted role, we have no real pattern of play. We get the ball to Trent and we see what happens. It's almost like he's a quarterback, and it's been not beneficial to us. And you can argue, like, yeah, we've missed a lot of big chances this year. But how many times, like, we just watch our guys, and it just doesn't seem they're cohesive in what they're supposed to do. There's no, like, that title-winning year, the Champions League years where we pushed on, there was a specific pattern of play we would play on both sides of the wings, and we don't have anything like that right now. So me personally, if Trent were to go into midfield, I'd put him as a 10. It's what he used to play coming through the academy. We reduce his liability as a defensive liability and maximize his offensive abilities, almost like a KDB. Just let him float, let him do what he wants. He can press, he counter press as well, but I wouldn't want him in a double pivot. When we've done that this year, he doesn't look great. So, but if we go back to the traditional back four, I think the issue of him and Mo and whoever wants to play that right center mid, that needs to be figured out, because Mo used to be able to stretch the field and go long, and you'd see those long balls that he would play that would really give a lot of space for Trent to come up into. Mo doesn't do that anymore. Mo pinches in quite a bit. He gets close to Darwin, and I mean, it's just there's a lot of things that Arnie's got to take care of coming forward, and I don't know what the answer is. I have no idea, because there's some tough questions that need to be asked.
The exciting thing is, none of us know the answers, because this is a new project, and for 7, 8, 9 years we've known the same. Even when we changed it slightly, we kind of knew what it was kind of evolving into. But with Arne Slot, we can either go by his final days, right? And this is what we're probably gonna hopefully segue into.
Grizz.
Before you go,
let's say bye to Grizz. Yeah, of course.
Big up, as always. Pleasure speaking to you, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Shane.
Look after yourself. Two
Great.
guys in the building.
Let me just chip in something real quick.
Go on.
Mo and Mush, you remember that during those heady days of the 18-19 season, Trent was overlapping Mohamed Salah.
He was a wing back more so. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just give you a little bit of a diversion. If you saw Arsenal playing today, what does Ben White do? He overlaps Saka. Now we are asking Mohamed Salah, an aging winger. We're telling him we don't have anybody to overlap you. So now you need to adapt your game to look for your central striker who has missed 46 big chances, 22 of which are passes that you made to him.
Can I suggest something then?
Go ahead.
I agree with you, okay? And I disagree with you. And I saw Mohamed agreeing with you, right? And I was agreeing with parts of it. But then I think football shouldn't be one way. It shouldn't be this way or the highway. So you mentioned Ben White overlaps.
Yeah.
Arsenal fans will tell you many games Ben White has inverted. So if Trent has the ability and he's such a wonderful player, horses for courses, guys. Be flexible in your approach.
So, Grizz, let me talk about this.
I agree with you. There are certain matches that you can invert. In fact, I've seen a match in which even there was so much inversion in the team that the centre back was Robertson, right? So, yes, there are those days when you can do that. But in certain matches, you just don't even try it. And you see, when it comes to the overlap, sometimes the overlap is actually a diversion, because the guy runs the channel and allows the winger to go inside the central defenders. All I'm saying is we have done a massive disservice to Mohamed Salah. And this is not African prop. Salah, I saw these stats these days because all the young ones are doing stats. I also decided to do stats. And I saw that our central striker has missed 46 big chances. 22 of them are passes for Mohamed Salah. So even if he scores 10 of those, Mohamed Salah has 10 more assists. And we stop saying, oh, Salah has this, Salah has that, because Salah is aging. He has, for the first time in any time we can remember, Salah came back from AFCON with an injury. So we need to take all that into account. What I'm saying is, and once again, we all agree that the structural problem needs to be fixed. We are not in Arne Slot's mind. We don't know what he does. Yeah. But in rounding off, since we heard about Slot coming, I took the time to watch a few final games because I have the ESPN stream. And I realized one thing. He does invert. But his inversion is a little different because both his left fullback and his right fullback invert depending on where the ball is. So he has a guy called Hartman, a fantastic young guy playing there, and then he has Luciano Gertrudia on the other side. They invert as and when. The invert system was not the Pep system where Pep told us, I built our invert system for Trent. And that is the problem with us. So I'm hoping that going forward, we figure out a way. And it's a difficult ask. Let's not forget Trent is supposed to be, unless something changes, he's supposed to be the vice captain of the team, which means he's a leader in the team. You can't bench him just like that. You need to find a place to incorporate his ability and minimize his deficiency. That's all we're saying.
I was going to say, right, so there's so much, everyone speaking here is very intelligent and has watched a lot of Liverpool, but I think we all need to step out of how we have been talking about this team, right, of all these examples we gave, because everyone has started their sentence, me included, with "do you remember when?" Or we've talked about Ben White that currently exists. We have brought a manager in because his ideas of football are different to the current templates that exist that we currently see. One thing that what you said, Albert, about looking into Arne Slot, one thing Arne Slot is renowned for is his ideas being different. So when we're giving an example of Trent, we're talking about Trent assuming that all other 10 players around him are doing the current same thing they're doing. They're not. Everyone's requirements, positions, instructions are going to change. And we almost need to embrace the unknown. And rather than being in that safe place of fitting everyone into the templates we remember or understand in our minds, we almost need to trust this manager fully. We cannot half trust this manager. We can't tell this manager, by the way, invert, but don't invert too much. By the way, play your patterns, but don't play too many patterns. We can't go half with this manager. We need to let this manager fully be who he is. I think that, but and his structures and everything are good.
Safe, right? As a fan base, we are safe. You know that, right?
What do you mean by safe, Albert?
We've always liked to go safe with our traditions, with everything we do. That's what we are known for. So we like to give our managers time. We like to give our players time. There's a virtue in that, right? But
agreed.
There's also.
But the point I'm making, Albert, is that thing you said about the virtue of giving time. We need to also have the patience to understand that some of the ideas this manager might come with, we will be unfamiliar with. We might first think, what the hell is he doing? Or it might take 3 or 4 games of a certain thing he's trying to do not working for it to eventually work. And then that spark hits of like, oh, that's what he was going to do.
I am fully on board with you. I'm prepared to give him time. I gave Darwin 2 seasons before I got off the ship. So I'm prepared to give him time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the big thing is looking at Arne Slot. One thing that I'm super, super excited about, but I think a lot of our attackers are in trouble. And Mo, Albert, Grizz, I'm interested to know what you think. One thing that I've noticed about Arne Slot is he is a combination attacking manager, right? So with Liverpool right now, it's so much more about what you do off the ball to get yourself an opportunity. But with Arne Slot's attackers, you need to be able to lay it off. You need to be able to do a quick 1-2. Unfortunately, guys, I don't think we have many attackers who are intricate enough in their style of play to play the combinations that he wants. And I'm being deadly serious here.
I think in terms of certain players, it does like in terms of the intricacies and like the quick passing and movement around the box, it does suit some of our players. I think it does suit Luis Diaz, for example. Maybe not Nunes to an extent. Maybe Mohamed Salah, definitely as well. But in terms of Arne Slot, of course, as you just mentioned, Liverpool fans were very loyal to not just our players, but also most definitely our managers, apart from with the exception of Roy Hodgson, who we wanted out of the door instantaneously because he just wasn't the fit. But we will be able to smell and sense bullshit from the jump. His first interview, his first pre-season game, his first match at Anfield, what he's like with the fans, we'll be able to get a little sense of this guy. Jamie Carragher actually made a very good point recently, and where he mentioned he could be the greatest manager, he could be a fantastic coach, but being a Liverpool coach, manager, it has to be that little bit more. You have to be a man of the people. You have to know because Liverpool is a very different, Liverpool in terms of the city, is very different to anywhere else in the UK that I've seen personally. People here are a lot more Their opinions are very much aligned. Everyone's got like the same kind of ethos. It's more like a big, massive family. So when we look at our team, Liverpool Football Club, we look for our manager to be like a Jurgen Klopp, someone that we can look up to, like a father figure. If Arne Slot carries himself in that same way, the same way when Hodgson left and Kenny Dalglish came back, it was amazing. That's why we never really bought into Brendan Rodgers. He was a bit of a pushover. Like, he was a good coach, but he was a bit of a twat, to be honest. Nobody really liked him. Rafa, you could see that you don't fuck around with Rafa. Serious guy. Let me even Julia at points. So with Arne Slot, I think Carragher made a fantastic point. He's a little bit more than just being a manager. And I've watched a few clips of him talk. More than watch his football, I've watched more clips of him talk. And he does.
This is a brilliant segue. This is a brilliant segue. Shall we listen and watch and react to him speaking to Sky? Let me try to bring it up. Where he
It's
speaks
the one where
about...
he asked about the weather.
Yeah.
Let
me know
when they
if you
asked
can
about
hear
his
it.
tan.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Whole week because
No.
I saw you last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
and I see you now. So you haven't been to Liverpool. You don't know the weather over there, or
It's not been great.
it's not been great.
I'll start again.
I haven't been there.
Okay.
Arne, thank you very much indeed for accepting our question.
Can we hear it? Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
you
yeah.
players and the staff have,
Look at
a
his...
few days off. You've got a bit of a tan there. Did you pick that up in Liverpool?
I love the grin. The grin is one of confidence. That's what I
I
love.
saw you last week, and I see you now. So you haven't been to Liverpool. You don't know the weather over there. Or it's not been great. So I haven't been there. You've been there. But where I was, the sun was shining because I went to Italy. So I wasn't in Holland, and I wasn't in the place you were.
I'm not going to answer the question. That was just an introduction. My first question is, it's an open secret, it seems, that agreement has been reached. You want Liverpool, they want you. Both clubs have agreed compensation. Is that the situation?
We haven't confirmed anything yet.
Look at the difference in tone, the seriousness. He was smiling.
So we haven't confirmed anything yet. I don't think it's honest to the club where I'm working now, or the club I could go to talk about that. And I'm more than willing to answer any questions if the official announcement will be made. I have all the confidence that that will happen, but till now it hasn't been confirmed officially yet.
Chris,
So-
this is the exact interview I was talking about. This is the one that I watched, yeah. And when I watched this, I was like, yeah. My guy knows, like, he's going to fit into the city, fit into this club, because it's the way he carries himself with a bit of confidence. He's got that little bit of banter, the smile. He doesn't take things too seriously, do you get me? Like, he could have just brushed that aside and probably just been a twat to that interviewer. But he reminds me of the early stages of Klopp when he came in before, like, the Premier League and TNT Sports and whoever else completely drained him. When he came in originally, he was a big, smiley, laughy, happy manager. Like, it looks pretty similar to Arne Slot, and I was very interested in that.
Well,
I was probably a little excited.
I was going to add.
Man.
Yeah, I was going to add. So lucky enough, professionally, I get to speak to a lot of CEOs and leaders, right, commercial leaders. And one thing that I instantly kind of pertain to what Arne Slot is like is he does something which a lot of commercial leaders who are very good at their job do, which is he uses words so specifically it doesn't leave any room for rumor or additional problems to appear. So he gives information so clearly about the contractual situation. There can't be a tabloid newspaper that takes that and manipulates that in a way to use. And I think being razor sharp, knowing that every word you say matters. Sometimes I remember someone like Andre Villas-Boas, who came in with huge stock coming in from Porto, did not realize how razor sharp you have to be with your words. You can't, like Mo said, you can't just be a coach. You also have to be a strategist when it comes to dealing with the media as well. And I think he's already, for me, winning me over with that. Because when you don't have the media on your side and you let the circus outside of the pitch start affecting you, it stops you from doing your job well. And I think he's equipped to deal with both sides of the job.
Look, make absolutely no mistake. There's this ruthless streak behind there that many people have missed. Look behind the smile. Look behind the words.
Okay.
The man knows what he wants. He means what he says and says what he means. He doesn't equivocate. That's what I picked up from
Body
you know,
language experts, let's go.
you know, if you've done a little bit of organizational theory and you look at the guy speaking, you will know that he's a leader. He's a man of few words, but he absolutely knows what he wants. And the people who selected him are not stupid. They know
Absolutely.
exactly what he said. Look at the other guy. You see, emotional intelligence is one of the most critical parts of leadership. Okay?
Absolutely.
All the four of us here, I'm sure we are fathers in the home. When a problem happens in the home, maybe your kid comes home with a problem. Even though you may know it's a problem, what do? Is the first thing you do just getting up and wringing your hands and putting your hands on your head? The first thing, your first disposition is let's all calm down. Let's
digest the information
digest it and know where we are going. Okay.
Come up with a
So
plan.
look at look at what he did, how he portrayed himself, and even taking the Mickey out of the reporter and disarming the reporter. There is a certain ruthlessness there that will become evident soon enough. Having said all that, you come into a situation, nobody is ever prepared to come into any situation unless they are in that driving seat. So I'm prepared to wait him out, see what he does differently, see what he does with the structural changes, and let's also be prepared for exits and entries. Happens with every transition. If you are a Discovery Channel watcher or an Animal Channel watcher in Animal World, when the new Lion King enters the pride, the young ones, some of them have to run away. Because if you don't run away, he sees you as a threat. He brings in his brothers. It happens. So he's going to come in with a team. They're going to change things a little bit or maybe a lot.
Albert, do you know the other thing that's going to change as well with that? I'm just adding to your point here, is the one thing I said about all of us embracing that maybe we don't know everything that's to come, is the people that we have seen as key players and key roles within this dressing room. There might be a change in the hierarchy. The order of who is important to the manager might be changed.
Absolutely. Look, I saw, and to your point, I saw something, and I've been seeing something on the pitch as they play. Have you guys noticed that McAllister is emerging as an on-field leader? Have you guys noticed it? That he's now telling some of the players what to do, what not to do. He's actually shouting at some players, like, and our captain doesn't really talk much. He just leads by example. There's a virtue in that as well. And so you have to have, there are dynamics that are going to change. And let's embrace the change. And Mush, I agree with like 99.9% of all you're saying. Let's embrace the change and let's see what happens and what we can do with it. It might not be perfect from the off, but I hope and I pray that he gets there. Look, as a Liverpool supporter, and Grace and I are agreeing, okay? We are the grey supporters. So on my wall in my study, I have the 1984 Liverpool team. When you see that team, you see Johnny Walk, you see Alan Hansen, you see those players. These are bad boys, okay? Graham Souness. These are players who were at their peak, they were untouchable. So as a Liverpool supporter, I want to go back there. I want to go back to winning. Not with the 115 charges style of winning, but I want to go back to where we step on the field and I am confident that we are going to win. One of my biggest disappointments this season is that for a while I thought we were getting back there. And then the loss at Manchester United in the FA Cup just ruined everything. Because prior to that, we could get into adversity and we knew we would still come back and do something. So I want us to go back there. However we got there, my one advice to Slot is that don't come and dismantle everything Klopp has done, because that will see you exiting really quickly, like really, really quickly. So, I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying, and it's.
And to your point, Albert,
Yeah.
to your point, exactly as you just said, that I think is the most important thing, and probably the reason why we've edged towards Arne Slot opposed to other managers, because he has pretty similar ethoses to Jurgen Klopp in the way we play. Don't tear down the house. Absolutely, that is one of the best advices you can give him. My other piece of advice to him would be don't handle envelopes during the preseason. That's never a good idea. So
And
no envelopes. If you know
Mo,
what I'm talking about, we don't want
you
no
see, Mo,
envelopes like Brendan Rodgers.
the people who selected Arne Slot. Remember, in the beginning, some of our supporters were going on up in arms. Why didn't you take Amorim? Why didn't you take Amorim? Amorim showed us why they didn't pick him by that stupid stunt he pulled. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amorim showed us why the people who didn't pick him didn't pick him.
Amorim was
Because-
never a good fit for us in terms
Because
of the
you
club.
wanted to put pressure on the guys who were supposed to pick you, so you took a plane and you went to a rival team. And what you didn't know was that the people who select, they are now ice cold people. They have blue in their veins. So they looked at what you did and like, okay, now you've confirmed our misgivings. Forget you.
Someone has put a video of him obviously doing a chat. I'm going to try to play it. Guys, give me a couple of seconds while we... and there's 5 people that want to jump on and speak. Wow. Chat is cooking. Show is cooking. I've really enjoyed it. Hope you guys have too. If you're watching
So Grace, let me drop out because I need to see.
You need to do what? You need to do what? It's Saturday night. A man of our stage in life. You need to do what? You need to do what? Me and you're gonna do what on a Saturday night? Me and you're gonna do
Grace,
what?
I need to check in with a few people. So
all right.
I just wanted to give somebody else a chance. You know, how long are you gonna be on though?
We're good. We're gonna flow until the chat wants us to flow.
Okay,
once the chat is bored and they don't want us to flow, we will stop.
Can I drop back in like an hour?
Of course you can.
Fantastic, because I need to go. You know, I have elderly parents, so I just need to check on them.
No.
It's been a pleasure, Uncle. It's been a pleasure, Uncle. Amazing chat.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And listen, Mo, when I come to Liverpool next, I'm gonna come and look for you because
give me a shout. Follow me on Twitter.
I hear the accent, and I know you're right there.
I'm right there for you anytime. I'll get you from the train station.
So take care, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you, Uncle.
Now, you see what, Grace? I don't even know how to exit from this thing, man.
Oh my God.
Looks like you're gonna have to stay, Albert.
Let me exit you, man. Remove from stage, man. I don't want to ban him. Fuck.
Jokes.
How do I get out of that? No, I don't want to ban him. Hopefully, I haven't banned him. I haven't banned him, hopefully. Guys, I need to get that. Someone's put in a tweet, and I need to watch it and then see if I can play it. Oh, hold on. I should be able to play it. Shall we watch this or shall we get some more callers in? Because there's 4 or 5 people that want to come in.
Who did they support? Let's get some different chat from different.
There's all
clubs.
Liverpool fans, man.
Are they all Liverpool fans? Okay. Listen, we need to talk about tomorrow. We're acting like there's no game tomorrow.
Well, there is a small matter of a game. Let's
a small matter of Klopp's new favorite word, the penultimate game of Klopp's reign. So we can chat about that.
So flat about it, man. Big Ben's in the building. He says, "Amazing show, amazing panel, mashallah. Big up, Uncle Chris. Thank you very much, Big Ben's. Welcome to the stream, guys. You'll get used to it, guys. People are on YouTube. People are moaning like, "Oh, bro, you're not responding to our comments." Guys, I am. I'm just responding here. Come over here. Hit the link that's pinned in the YouTube chat. Come over here because then I can play you the videos and you can see more. Or if you're comfortable on YouTube, no problem. Smash the like on the YouTube. We're just
before you bring anyone else up, Chris, I wanted to ask you and Mush a question, and then whoever else joins that's the Liverpool fan, we can also ask them the same question. I think it'll just be a nice little lead. So I'll ask you first, Chris, and then Mush, you can come in as well. What's one thing, only one thing that you want from tomorrow? Apart from obviously a win, we all want to win. We're Liverpool fans. We want our team to win. What's one thing? Obviously, we've had a couple of bad weeks. It's been a bad one. What's one thing you want to see from Liverpool Football Club tomorrow that will make you happy?
I'm weak, so I'm gonna go first. I'm weak and easy. Yeah, me at my tender age now. I want Jurgen Klopp and Mohamed Salah back like when they were not best friends, but that relationship, that mutual respect that 2 legendary, icons, the ones that will go down in my memory forever and ever and ever. And I want them to be back happy, smiling, high-fiving, hugging, or whatever the case may be. Show the world, show every other fan base, we ain't them. Because a lot of people have come for me on other platforms and said, yo, is this your Liverpool? It means more, blah, 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 two legendary
I
icons.
know.
And it has made me sad. So tomorrow, above all, I want them two legends to be happy and show us that they're happy. And the journey has been amazing and it's been special and the respect is still there. That's what I want to see.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And that is definitely top of the priority list. I think my one's still a lot bigger. I'll come in with mine before you go, Bush. My one, honestly,
Go for it.
I am praying, I am on my knees that I don't see that graphic where it says Liverpool, the prince that we've won from being behind. I
Mush
feel like I
hates that
see
as
that
well.
every single goddamn game, and it pisses me the oh my god, it pisses me off so
They
much.
keep posting it like we should be proud of it. That's the worst part.
Oh, I hate it. It's not something to be proud of. It just shows our demise defensively, conceding every single game. I'm hoping and praying we don't see that tomorrow. I'm hoping and praying we can get a clean sheet. And you know what? If we win 1-0, I'm happy with that. As long as we get that clean sheet. But if we go behind again, bro, all I'm saying is I might lose my mind. But yeah, I love Chris's points. I hope Klopp and Salah can have a big, massive hug. I hope we don't concede early and we've got to. Oh, Liverpool have got 29 points from losing positions this season. Oh, could they do it again? No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that graphic. I'm sick of it. That's my one. What would yours be, Mush?
Yeah, I think mine is thinking about the fact that this period of our lives, not just of Liverpool Football Club, of our lives, right? This is what we do and we invest our emotions in every 3 days, basically. I want this, the energy of the game, the way we press, the roar of the crowd. I want it to feel, rather than the outcome of how the season has unfolded and how flat we feel, I want these players to give us that Klopp Anfield pressing energy one last time. One last time, I want to watch and be able to tell my kids about, you know what, when Jurgen Klopp was at Liverpool, teams couldn't breathe. The crowd would be up from a tackle. We'd be, I want it to feel relentless, because he hurt me the most this past 2 weeks is we haven't fought, bro. We haven't looked like we are the ones who are going to win the battle. And what I associate most with Jurgen Klopp's team is, in the last 5-6 years, Pep's played all the football, but we've had all the energy and the emotion. And I love that. I love that about football. That's why I watch football. I don't watch it as a game of chess. And I feel Liverpool have lost that the past 2 weeks. So let me see Jurgen Klopp scream one last time, grab Robertson by the scruff of the neck because he made a great tackle or something like that. Like, that's what I want to see. You get what I mean?
As we welcome another caller, Quasi, people on the YouTube will recognize him. People on the playback recognize him.
Quasi.
Big up, boys.
I just want to read a couple of comments from the playback chat. MDRZNBM. Sorry if that's how you spell your name. I'm sure it's not your name. I'm joking. He says, I am for the new setup we will be experienced at Liverpool. I am for the new setup that we will be experienced at Liverpool. Slot as a coach and not a manager will reduce any external matters and just focus on coaching. Knowing how cold Edwards is and possibly Hughes will follow suit, the players will play to impress them to keep their spot in Liverpool. Muju has a question. The question is, does Mo Salah stay beyond the season, and is this all public posture just to invite bids? Very quickly, let's go by one and answer that question, if I may ask you guys. Mohammed, I know we discussed it the other day, but people that weren't tuned in the other day.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, we did discuss it in depth, and yeah, I believe it's still on playback. So if you want to watch that back, you can hear our views and my views. But in a nutshell, I think Mohamed Salah is not done with the Premier League. He's not done with local football club. I'm hoping and praying that we do keep him. And I'm hoping and praying that if he does sign a contract, 1-year extension, and then next season he can propel this team to. Because listen, what I was saying in that chat the other day, and what I'm going to repeat today again, is that we need to minimize the possibilities of next season being a transition season. And with Mohamed Salah staying, he's our top goal scorer. No matter how bad he's been over the last few weeks, he's been our star player for the last seven years or so. So if we keep him, hopefully get a 1-year extension into his contract next season, he'll potentially score us that 20 Premier League goals, and then we can reassess next season whether to sell him or keep him. So yeah, that's just my, in a nutshell, where I think of Mohamed Salah.
I personally think I want Mohamed Salah to stay, but not in the role he has in the team. And what I mean by that is Mohamed Salah is aging, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's no way you can have a 32 going on 33-year-old footballer who isn't in between the posts near the goal. You know, Mohamed Salah is having to work 40 yards of space just to get close to the goal. And on top of that, we're talking about Trent inverting. If Trent has inverted, there's no one out wide, and Mohamed Salah is being made to stand on that touchline to give us width. So for me, there needs to be a change in what Mo is asked to do. And I also think Pep has shown the blueprint of how he has managed Kevin De Bruyne's minutes this season after coming from an injury, being a similar age. You know, they're at Chelsea at exactly the same time of their career. We need a good enough team where Mohamed Salah at 32, 33 should not have to put up 20 goals and 15 assists for Liverpool to be competitive. Mohamed Salah needs to go from being a pillar of the team to a great value add. And what that means is you can either bring him on or play him for an hour and manage his workload so that he can be good throughout a season, rather than burning him out, then him going to another AFCON and coming back with nothing left in the tank. I think the management of him is going to be super important, because I am not going to hear anyone say Mohamed Salah doesn't manage himself. I make the same quote every week I speak to my friends, Grizz, and I genuinely believe this. I think after Cristiano Ronaldo, Mohamed Salah is the best athlete in terms of looking after himself football has seen after Cristiano, and I genuinely believe that. So, you know, when we see guys in July or August, when Mo Salah pulls out the yacht pick with the 8-pack, he's going to be ready. Let's give him a tactic that allows that conditioning to be maximized for as long as possible through the season.
Welcome to the stream, Quasi. Welcome to the stream, Turab. Regular callers on the call.
Welcome, live.
Big up, guys.
Welcome.
All right.
Hope you're enjoying the new setup. As I said, a few teething problems, but we will be there. We will get there. Quasi, how are you?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me, man. Big up to the men in the chat. Big up the panel. To answer the question, I think it's time. Liverpool, if we want that 2.0, which Klopp even said in one of his pressers, said it doesn't have to mean 2.0 means just because he's leaving means 2.0 is dead. That means the new person has to take it and move it forward. And as we know, the new person is not just one person. It's like 3 or 4 of them, right? From Edwards coming down. If he has to stay, they have to minimize his workload. The AFCON thing that he's going to go. There's nobody stopping Mo Salah to go, represent his country. So with that, he also has to accept that he's not the Don anymore. And we are moving away from the old era. But if you were to ask me for stay or go, I would say he goes. He needs to go, and we need to rebuild, because it's going to be really hard when you have a new manager come in and he's trying to change things. And if it doesn't work for Mo Salah, how is he going to react, right? We know he's a professional. He's the ultimate professional, but he is also the ultimate competitor. And that's the very hard thing. This has nothing to do with any ego, right? Yes, all super athletes have ego, but he's an ultimate competitor. What he wants to do now might not work for Liverpool, but it will work for somebody else. And right now, we're Liverpool. Yes, sir.
Just to combat what you're putting, and I completely appreciate where you're coming from. Maybe cash in now. Maybe he's going to get older. Age catches up with everyone. But what message does that send? Not to just the fans, but to our star players like Trent Alexander-Arnold and Virgil van Dijk. What does that show to them when we're getting rid of somebody who could potentially propel us to a league title next season, potentially could make next season less of a transition season? What do you think? What kind of message does that send to us and to them?
Well, they also have to understand that, do you want to win or do you just want to continue the status quo? And when you want to win, you can't stay in the same place asking to win. Yes, we need them. We need the backbone of the players who have taken us there. But this is the part where we actually ask questions. Are you that person who wants to keep winning, or are you just happy with what you got? And eventually your thing is, I want to go someplace else to compete again, which if they decide, that's fine. But for Liverpool, no, I know it hurts, but for Liverpool to go forward, we need to go back to where we were hungry.
Quasi, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
you know what you said about that step going forwards, maybe moving on from Mohamed Salah is a big piece of that, yeah?
Right.
An example I would give, right, is when Real Madrid won that three-peat of the Champions League, yeah? And it was Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo, yeah? Did anyone think at the time that it would be Karim Benzema who would be the one to reinvent himself?
Right.
A guy who would score only 5 league goals a season, go on to score 30s and 40s for 2 or 3 years between the ages of 33 and 35, basically.
Right.
Is there any reason why a fresh set of instructions and approach and a re-energized atmosphere can't bring the best out of current important players?
Right. So that's a very good question, and we have to look at it this way. Benzema chose the uncomfortable route at the beginning. When Bale and Ronaldo left, he became the guy because he came back to his comfort zone. And the reason why I said that is Benzema became what Bobby Firmino was. He was facilitating a lot to Ronaldo's side and then as much as he can to Bale's side, right?
Yeah.
So when those two left, guess what? What he was doing after those two, the post-Ronaldo season, was what Benzema was doing at Lyon, where he was the dude. So he was already comfortable with that. The part where he sacrificed his legacy for Ronaldo to score all those goals, that's the part where we need to congratulate him the most, because he chose to sit back and let Ronaldo get eat. Now,
but don't you feel though that the moment Ronaldo and your Bales leave, and suddenly you've gone from sharing the spotlight, even being a lesser part of the spotlight, but let's say sharing it. Suddenly, you Benzema with the responsibility of guiding a young Vinicius, a young Valverde, a young Rodrigo.
Right.
Don't you think the chance to be a leader for those younger players, and we are pretty sure that younger players will come in with Slot and this project, don't you think that the ability to have that leadership aspect might revitalize Salah in a way we haven't seen?
And that's why I said if he decides to stay, he will have to accept that the old era is gone. We're not going to put you on. We're not going to put you on the right side. We're not going to give you 200 touches where the left side is getting only 50. Those days are going to be gone, and it's up to him for him to revitalize himself to make sure that
swallow your pride almost.
Thank you.
Kwasi, I think you raised some interesting points. And we got Thider in the chat as well. And earlier on, he's saying the shin pads are on, the jacket is off. So, Thider, let's see what you think. Obviously, myself and Mush, we've got very similar opinions with Salah. What do you think of Kwasi's take on this?
Yeah, this narrative that Salah has only been a good player under Klopp needs to be spoken about a bit more. It's not like he hasn't played under different managers and done well. Let's not forget his spells.
Top managers at that as well, right?
Exactly, as well. So I have no problem in... Basically, I'm Salah in. Like, I want him to stay, 100%. Because I love him, so I have a bias. I'm not going to lie. I am critical when he hasn't played well. I'm one of those people that back Klopp in. I've been saying for a while that he needs to be dropped.
You're also very, very good with your hands and movement. I love it. I'm loving it.
I'm a bit like...
Is it this new...
Expressive, man. I love expressive people.
I know, expressive. Is it this...
No, this has never happened before. I don't know where it's come from today.
He's been watching them Sadiq Khan speeches, bro. He's been watching
Sadiq Khan speeches, bro.
Yeah, I don't need no one to vote me out right now. I don't need no one to walk across the stage.
Sorry, I've interrupted your flow. Carry on. I just thought I noticed that. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Man said
Don't be
Floyd
conscious,
Mayweather.
Tyler. Be yourself,
Man
man. Go
said
for it.
Floyd Mayweather. What a guy! I'll take that. Unbeaten. But yeah, no. The facts are the facts, boys. Like he has. Obviously, his best years have been under us, but he has done well under different managers. So I just wanted to point that out, and that was my question to Kwasi. Like, you feel very passionate about the whole. You don't mind Salah leaving. Don't you see? Like, say if it's like 5 points towards the cons and 4, then it's only just, right? So even if he does stay, are you good with that?
Yeah, if it's that, I mean, when I was asked, I said, if he decides to stay, you have to give him anything he needs.
Okay,
because we have to make sure he succeeds. We just don't keep him just to, to get the fan base and the economy. Because Salah by himself is an economy by himself. So if you're just gonna keep him just for the economy reasons, I don't think it goes well for Salah's legacy. But if you're gonna keep him.
I'm a little bit on Kwasi's side. I'm not gonna lie. I do ask for forgiveness. I didn't hear the whole thing, but I've spoken to Kwasi before as well. So I'm not Team Salah.
Is it Team Salah though? Like even the point I made.
It's not Team Salah.
Even the point I made about I only want Salah to stay if the plan evolves to get more out of him. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of current Salah. Like current Salah right now is forget performance. He's so far from goal. He has no combos. That right-sided central midfielder has changed every 3 days. So what relationships are forming? The ones that Mo talked about being at Anfield and seeing that rotation of Trent, Hendo. It's a new player with a new instruction every game, bro. So what is Salah meant to create in terms of relationships?
MDR, bro, change your name. I can't say those letters every time you make a brilliant point.
Just loads of letters.
MD reason.
MD, is that what you say? Yeah, MD reason. Okay. You've made some brilliant points. So he says Salah stays by in a playmaker role. He can no longer be the winger.
Exactly.
If he stays and still remains a winger, is going to be B. Guys, I just want to before we carry on, Arne Slot, his philosophy is about his wingers being one-on-one demons. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, we know that doesn't mean shit we know that doesn't mean that's the end of Salah. Because all great coaches, and we're hoping Arne Slot is a great coach, adjust accordingly to the weapons they've got at their disposal. So he may, like you guys are proposing, change Mohamed Salah's position. Do you really guys want Salah to be your number 9 though, guys?
Bro,
I just want to segue a little bit into Salah's position.
This is what Saida said though. Saida, before you kick off, because I think Saida, you started to raise a good point, which was we forget that at Roma, Salah was a second striker, bro. He was playing off the target, man. He was not out wide. Mohamed Salah was completely different. If you look at his heat maps, you look at where he was picking up the ball, look at his highlights. Yeah, go on, carry on, bro. This is your point. I don't want to step on.
So this is the thing. So with Salah, this is the first time he's had form like this. The first time. The only reason why I genuinely believe is that it's been highlighted is because of the Klopp leaving factor. It amplifies it a bit more. Rightly or wrongly so, whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just maybe the capitulation of the season. Things are a bit tense. I don't know, whatever it is. But I don't know who it was earlier that said their ideal situation is, I think it was you, Mush, for Sunday, that they have like a moment where they embrace. No, I thought it was Grizz. Someone said that. But I'm one of those people as well that hopes to see that.
Yeah, I'm the softie, man. These lot are cold-blooded killers, man.
I want to see that too.
No, you don't. You want to win and shit.
Part of the reason why I'm embracing change is because I want to see something fresh now in terms of tactics and ideas. It will take time, but I'll be real, and I've been saying it for a while, and every time I've jumped on, we have gone a bit stale, just in our ideas. And I feel like a new manager coming in with fresh ideas, Arnie isn't a mug. Like, he will know that there are.
You don't look like one, bro. You don't look like one. He looks serious.
Exactly.
Can I play a video, guys? Sorry.
Yeah, play the video. Play the video.
Yeah, I've got someone sent in a tweet, of course, earlier on.
Whilst you get that loaded, Chris,
Yep.
I was just going to say to Thider, you make a very strong point when you say that Salah hasn't had, like, this probably his worst form in years, even like Roma time, Fiorentina time. But the one factor, the one elephant in the room that we haven't addressed is that injury that he picked up in AFCON. We didn't talk about that at all. That was massive. That's a huge, and maybe it's a problem. Maybe it's a bit of a foreshadow of what's to come in the future. Maybe there's more injuries to come. Listen, age catches up to everyone. I love Salah more than anyone.
Exactly.
But he's never going to get younger.
Can I?
I think that's where
this is where the other
Partey's coming from.
players. This is where the other players haven't stepped up. Do you know what I mean? In recent years, he's had Mane's and you know. Anyway, you've got the video playing.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Let me know if you can hear it, guys.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you could beat this team here in their own stadium without even our fans being here. But that, again, is an obligation for the upcoming weeks. Because you guys are going all to the national teams. Some will play, some don't. But we need to stay fit, boys. Because this is only a win. It's not more than a win. It's a big win, but it's not more than a win. We have a bigger goal this season.
I love that phrase.
The first time in 17 years in Amsterdam. Our goal is bigger than that. So, take care of your body. Make sure you come fit as soon as you can back to the club so we can go for the last 2 months and make this season even more special than you already did. Because we're not going to be small with making pictures, all those kind of things. It's only a win in Amsterdam. That's what we did, I would say before, but that's not completely true. So, enjoy the win because it is a big win, but take the obligation with you to the national team. Because we need to be back fit.
Obligation.
Joe, quickly before
Can we all clap? Can we all get clapping? Can we all get motivated as well? Because that's our new gaffer right there. That's my
gaffer. That's my gaffer.
Guys,
I got my shoes ready.
This is the thing. You know the whole narrative.
Quickly, Thider. Let me just say, has anyone watched Dune, like the new film?
No.
Yeah, Dune. Yeah, I've seen Dune. The new one.
Doesn't he look like Harkonnen? I just can't unsee it.
He does.
He does. Unsee it. Sorry.
That's how ruthless he's gonna be, bro. That's how ruthless he's gonna be.
I hope he is as ruthless as Harkonnen.
I've seen all kinds of comparisons, guys. Who he looks like, whatever. I'm a nice guy. I think there is a lot of Bruce Willis in him.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. I can see that.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Mohammed, why are you doing that to me? You don't see Bruce Willis?
No, I just can't unsee Harkonnen. Search it now, Chris. Search Jude Harkonnen on Google. I'm
gonna find Jude.
I can't unsee it. But sorry, Side, I interrupted you. What was your point?
No, this is the thing. This narrative that he's not, likable and all that stuff. He is likable. He comes across very well. Like even in his interviews, he's got something about him. He comes across well, and that's very important for us as fans, like especially Liverpool fans. Like we don't want someone stale like Ten Hag, who's the other bold Dutch manager who's coming across. Like I have more hope in this fella because he doesn't, like I said earlier, he's not a mug, like the way he carries himself kind of thing. But even I don't know if we're going to stick on the Salah thing, but just to end it or continue however we want to go with Salah, I think he will embrace new ideas because even he needs to realise that his game needs to evolve, and he has been a very good playmaker. I don't know who it was in the chat earlier, big up to them, but I think he might have to realise that, he will need to rotate. Hopefully the club can come to that realisation and work around, come to an agreement, whatnot. What will be, will be. Do you know what I mean?
This is key though, guys. He will have to know he has to rotate. Exactly. I genuinely believe he don't believe that right now.
That's what I was saying. Ultimate competitor is hard for them to understand that.
He's the ultimate competitor. And I gave an example. I was having a chat with the Man United fans, right? Sometimes you have to speak to Man United fans in the field. I mean, unfortunately. Yeah. But what I was saying, guys, do you remember? And I'm not comparing, like I'll repeat, Mohammed will know this chat we had. I'm not comparing the personalities and characters. But I'm saying the situation is slightly resembling of Cristiano Ronaldo still being there, fading force, Ten Hag coming in, new manager, new approach, bit of clash of powers, not allowed to substitute Ronaldo, not allowed to not pick him. Is there...
Grizz, I feel like that's an incorrect reference point in the timeline. The reason why I'm saying that, is the Ronaldo you're referring to is the Ronaldo of 37 years of age.
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah is not there. There
Yes.
is still plenty to unlock there with Mohamed Salah and plenty to use. I would say a better example is how cleverly Juventus used Ronaldo. So you still have to manage big personalities. Like Kwasi is saying, Mohamed Salah's drive for success means that an ego comes with it. So you need to massage that ego for him to understand that you need to word it, and that's going to be Slot's challenge of saying, look, don't worry about that midweek game against Burnley, because that Champions League group game is where we need you.
You try telling him that.
Things that it's not about you try telling him that. The challenge is trying to make
it's
him
the way you
understand.
frame it, Bush. It's the way you frame it to him, and
exactly
this is the
that.
thing. This is why Michael Edwards. Listen, Michael Edwards. I'm sure had a relationship with Salah. He was the one who wanted Salah, wasn't it? Klopp didn't want him. So clearly there was a good relation. I know I'm being very optimistic right here. It's because out of my bias, out for Salah staying, which this is the thing. The good
It's
thing
understandable. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. He's the greatest player in our
Premier
recent
League
lifetimes, in our Premier League era.
So with Klopp leaving, I think he will look forward to it. And it's Edwards. Edwards has to frame it in a certain way, which I'm sure he will. I have that belief in Edwards. I said in the chat, Edwards, when Edwards was around, Kwasi, we were genuinely at our peak.
Oh no, that one. I mean, Grizz will tell you. Grizz will tell you from how many times I've come to the show and said we need to bring Edwards, but he's like, I know people who have talked to him, and as much as he wants to, he doesn't want to come back, right?
Guys, I know we're saying Edwards talk to him. I'm not sure if Edwards will do much talking. It's Hughes is the footballing director, guys. Edwards is in charge of all footballing.
Liverpool. I mean, FSG.
Operations for
FSG. So yes, the initial chat will be with Edwards, but it's Hughes who's going to be dealing with on a day-to-day contractual basis. I think.
And this is the thing this is the thing. As much as I don't want people to think just because we say we want Salah to move on doesn't mean, just like you guys said, he's not one of the greatest EPL players in Liverpool side. Exactly. EPL, even in total, who has ever been there, right? The idea is this time, this is a Liverpool fans try to dissect what is going to make Liverpool great again, right? I think people forget that a lot of people were hating on Edwards coming back because they thought first thing he's doing is kicking out Salah, kicking out Virgil, the old players, right? But they don't understand that Edward is one of the biggest fans is Salah, right? He, like Coach said, he brought Salah in, and I think recruiting a new manager, I think Grizz is even the one who said it perfectly. He said Edward's going to ask you a few questions about the dons in the club. Somebody like Trent, Virgil, Salah. What are you going to do with those guys?
Exactly.
And your answer is going to be able to see if you move into the higher tier of the interviews, right? Yes. And the thing is, they will
Kwasi, I wanted to just support what you said. And even though I've kind of contested it, I actually also embrace what you're saying, which is, guys, I want to give the example of Arsenal 5 years ago, when Arsenal were in the middle of nowhere and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was the only one who was scoring goals, 28, 29 goals, literally carrying that team. Who would have thought in 2018, if you said the only way we are going to progress is if we move past Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Because at that point, when Saka is 17 and making his first appearance, or, Martinelli's just this scruffy kid who's arrived from Brazil, the fear of taking the importance and the bucket filling that Aubameyang's giving you in terms of numbers and completely removing that, thinking it's going to be filled elsewhere, is scary because there's no guarantee of it. But we can't just always talk about it not being possible. I think that's also a big
thing. I think, to be honest, if I could just quickly come in there quickly, just to touch on that point. I see where you're coming from with the Aubameyang talk. But with Salah, it's completely different. It's night and day. You could see Aubameyang when he was at Arsenal, he was a bad apple. You could see the character that he had, and joking around. Oh, it's Travis Scott, whatever.
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
You see
okay,
this
maybe off the pitch.
with
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah. You look at Harvey Elliott, and I think it's someone that we need to talk about a little bit as well.
But that's the part where you also have to, even the people who love Salah have to understand that if Liverpool's going away, we have to be ruthless. And even the people we love so much, Alisson is going nowhere. But if Edwards and his coaches and his team says Kelleher is the dude because he can kick, because we know Alisson can kick worth of nothing. And because Kelleher can kick,
classy now.
How many times is the guy has kicked the ball and come up with a hamstring?
Come on, he might get a few injuries here.
Exactly. I don't want my super goalie like Alisson getting injuries.
I think that Quasi is.
This will be a wicked poll. I'm thinking of a poll. I'm thinking, who would you sell, Alisson or Salah? Or Van Dijk. Can I throw Van Dijk in there?
Throw Van Dijk in there.
No.
Throw all of them in there.
You're doing too much, Chris.
No, you have to.
You've got to sell one. Look, okay. Listen, we need to sell one.
Who put this in the poll?
We need to sell one. Okay, we don't need to sell one. Okay. Let me think of the wording. You carry on. You guys carry on.
Why are we having this conversation? Like,
that's what I'm trying to say. Try that. I've been saying this from the very
like everyone's being too scared right now. Everyone's like being too overly scared about what we're losing such a.
No, it's not
like
Quasi's
being so like
it's progressive. We have to be.
No, I'm just saying we have to move forward. We have to move forward.
We are
moving forward.
Right, by moving forward, sometimes moving forward, like
listen, okay.
Obama had to leave.
Are we a data-driven team? Yes or no?
Yes, we are.
And what is Salah's data?
Salah data. Okay, good point. His GAs, right? And I'm glad you brought that because you've been saying that he was playing well, except this year. If we go by GAs, Salah. No. I mean, how many people can you find right now?
And by the way, I just want to add to this because I'll ask you a follow up. I'm more of an eye test person anyway.
Right. So I understand.
Anyways, but continue. Go on.
I understand. So Salah's GAs has been great, even at his worst, and this season is probably his worst. But if you were to ask me how well was the last time Salah ball out, I was like during the end of the quad season, the year that we thought we were going to win the quad. That's when Salah started dropping up. Last season,
I disagree with that, bro. Against Newcastle, one sec. Against Newcastle, when we created the most XG ever, Mohamed Salah recorded the most key passes and creative passes and chances created ever in a Premier League game. So how can we say it was that long ago?
No, I'll explain why I'm saying that. Maybe I should word this way. The most consistent we've seen Salah for a long period of time was that season. And during the end of that season, we start seeing the decline because Champions League final, we didn't see where Salah was, right? This season, I'll give you 2 games.
No, Quasi.
Let me finish. Let me finish because the Champions League final, Mane was the dude. But this season, I'll give you 2 games. The Chelsea game. The last game he played before the last game he played before he went to AFCON? The Chelsea game.
That was the Newcastle game.
Newcastle. And then why this thing give me thumbs up? Chelsea game. Chelsea game where we beat him 4-2. Is it 4-2 or 4-1? 4-1. That was the old Mo Salah. Where Mo Salah was moving around. And Mo Salah is more dangerous when you don't know where he's going to be.
He wasn't playing the Chelsea game. You're talking about the Newcastle game.
Yeah. No, the Chelsea game too. The Chelsea game because he scored and assisted in that game.
No, he wasn't.
When Bradley scored.
Bradley scored. Salah balled out.
That was the game where Nunes hit the bar 4 times.
I
don't know if that was
the penalty as well.
I don't know if Salah was playing. I'm not.
He came off the bench, I believe. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, people have to understand the reason why some of us are saying maybe it's time for him to move on is because when Salah doesn't play well, it affects the rest of the team a lot. Right? It affects. He may score a goal, he may assist a goal, but it does not help the team as in total. Help us. Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of what Tide is trying to say as well, listen, his big chances created as well this season could have tipped him over the edge. But let's move on from the Salah talk because we've talked a lot about Salah. And although I absolutely love the Egyptian king, I'm sure we can talk about other things because there's a lot of things happening in Liverpool Football Club at the moment. We've got 3 games left with the
People
greatest
said we need
manager
to
we've
talk
seen
about
in
Van
our
Dijk for some
generation.
reason.
And I'm going to ask Kwasi and Thaida the same question that I asked Mush and Grizz. Is basically, apart from winning tomorrow, what would you like to see tomorrow? What would you like to see that will make you happy as a Liverpool fan?
I want to see younger players get opportunity to play.
Okay.
I'm glad that they shut him. I hope they shut Virgil down. Shut him down. He's done enough. Virgil is Virgil, whether he plays again or not, right? He's probably the only constant that we have since that knee injury. I want to see the young players. Give Bachetic some playing time. Bradley's back. Give Bradley some playing time. If you want to test how Trent can play 90 minutes midfield, throw him in there.
You know what I mean? You're doing everything for Kwasi.
Yeah, there's nothing left to play for.
There's nothing left to play for.
No,
right?
but I don't want to go. Guys, I get it. There's nothing to play for per se. I don't want Klopp's last 3 games.
Man, you're doing too much.
To get
experiment.
But the current plan isn't producing anything, Grizz. So these new changes might revitalize.
No, but the tactics really have. We've still created opportunities. It's the players, boys. The players need to buck it up. I'm sorry. They need to. Yes, the title's done. I blame partly the players. Yes, Klopp may not have been perfect a lot of the times, but it's the players and the guys up top who have really.
But then, Side, I can ask you a question. Don't you feel then, if it's the players that have missed these chances, don't you think there needs to be consequence of the fact that you have failed to deliver on us reaching our objectives? Other players who have maybe done something. For example, Gravenberch was one of our only good players against West Ham.
Yeah.
He deserves to have a go. Why not? Harvey
100%.
Elliott comes on game after game and changes our game when we're playing horribly. He deserves to have a go.
Turab, before you go, I agree with you, but because, guys, the only reason I'm being all softy and sentimental is because of Jurgen Klopp's last 3 games.
But Chris, who are you being sentimental to?
Hold on.
Nunes.
Let me finish. If this was a normal end of the season and 3 games to go, I would be absolutely you and Kwasi's boat. I'd be saying they've let us down, blah, blah, blah. Bring in the youngsters, play tomorrow, and vibrancy for the future and positivity for the future. That's not Klopp's way. It hasn't been Klopp's way. I don't want him to change his way just as he's on his way out.
Grizz, your fallacy, Grizz, is thinking our first team is going to produce. That's what your fallacy is.
No, you're not seeing it. I don't care about the production tomorrow. I don't care about the production tomorrow.
What is it you care about that you think the current players who have failed are going to produce?
God damn. Was he not listening to me, anyone?
Apart from wanting to see a Salah Klopp hug, what else do you want to see?
I want to see bromance all over the pitch. I want to see passion, energy from the players he bought this season. I want to see these guys given a chance because Klopp's whole thesis on management was trust and trust and trust. I don't want him to go out like, you shit on me, you let me down, get out of here. You're sub. What's his name? Dan's. You're playing instead of Nunes, the guy entrusted. Exactly. Trent, you've been hero for me last 5-6 seasons. Fuck you. You let a goal in against West Ham.
Who broke the trust? Klopp isn't the one who broke his end of the bargain. It was them.
I know, but this is what I'm saying is because of the Klopp last 2-3 games, I want him to believe in the thesis that he taught us, which was all about love and
that's exactly what needs to happen tomorrow. Listen, it needs to be the same team. It needs to be that core first 11. They need to give a performance to Jurgen Klopp for these last 3 remaining games.
Mo, what happens if they don't? What happens if they don't? I just want to know what you're going to think.
But what happens if they do?
They don't. And if they do, exactly the point.
What if they do, Mush? If they do, nothing's going to happen. If they don't, nothing's going to happen.
No,
this is
weak sentiment for me, man. This is sentiment.
Klopp,
that's all it is.
Maybe that's why we didn't win the league this season because of this weekend.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for saying that.
But now that it's gone, I want Klopp to go out all guns blazing in the way he knows. And the way he knows is not to make wholesale changes, drop everyone. tell him you're dropped, bring all the youngsters in. I don't mind Bradley having a game. I don't mind having Dan's having a few minutes. Bejitic come on for a few minutes. But I'm with, and I don't know who's with me. I think Mohammed's with me. I think I'm with pick the players that you've trusted so far. Forget the last month. It happens. It happens to better teams than us. It's happened to a better team than us.
Can I ask a question though? Can I ask a question?
We have to forget it. We have to move on.
How do we? We have said this. I personally, I'm also in the belief that Klopp is his own architect for not winning enough trophies. He made some mistakes that you were like, come on.
There is an element.
You see what I'm saying? But if we're gonna
favoritism.
One of them, thank you.
Hamid, don't cover your face like that. It's true. Like
it's not true.
It's favoritism.
It's favoritism. It's actually not true because
one by one.
I see. Let me just explain to you why it's not true, and I'll tell you why. You could talk about favoritism and all these other sentiments and whatever else. You only have to change 4 results in the whole of Jurgen Klopp's tenure at Liverpool Football Club, and he's leaving with 3 Premier Leagues and 2 Champions Leagues, just from 4 results. I think it's actually more than that.
That's insane. That's insane.
No, it's 3 results. All he needs is 1 result 18-19, 1 result 21-22, and 1 result
that's insane
in the Champions League. And he's got 3 Premier Leagues and he's got 2 Champions Leagues. Chuck in Kiev as well. 4 results.
Can I go real quick? Because
that is not FSG. That is not sentiment. That is not being too. I don't know what you were saying before about
Pally or whatever.
Yeah, but it's none of that. It's fate. It happens. Even that game before, we were talking about 22-23 season Champions League final. Earlier on, Kwasi, you mentioned that Salah was non-existent. He wasn't there. It was Mane's game. Bro, we could have Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, Salah, Mane, Zidane threw ball in with Kaká in behind, and we still wouldn't score past Courtois. I don't care what anyone says.
Before Kwasi goes, Kwasi and Turab, have your final say because we've got a whole heap of people looking to jump in next as well. Kwasi, you go because I know you want to come back with something.
So all the teams the games that you're talking about, that's why I said he is his own architect for Arsenal win, because those games he made some major mistakes. What's it called? 13 millimeters against City at Etihad. He went in not to lose instead of playing them the way we've been playing the whole season where we were winning.
Wait, right? So you mean the 18-19 season?
18-19 where we almost went invisible
with the Sane goal.
Away from winning the game.
Exactly.
We were immense that game, bro.
We were immense.
I can disagree with that.
If you want to blame anyone for that game, it was Dejan Lovren. Towards the end, if you can recall,
that's one of his favorite. That's also one of his favorite players where he sometimes
is a non-starter because that was probably Klopp's one of his best performances as a football team. That game was insane.
As a football season, that season he was almost perfect. Until that game, he made some changes where
he made no mistakes that game. I'm sorry.
No, he made some tactical changes which affected us because after the game, a lot of people said we should have go at them instead of sitting back trying to manage the game.
We did not sit back against them.
We did not.
Who did we have in midfield? By the way,
the same 3 midfielders.
It was Henderson.
It was Henderson.
It was Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho.
Well,
the points I'm trying to make, Kwasi, that season we finished on 97 points.
That's what I'm saying. But you see, we know this is the part where people don't understand. When it comes to fine margins, there's Liverpool fans know more than anybody else on the planet that one mistake tells you that the season is over.
There was no mistakes in that game. I'm sorry, Kwasi.
That's why we came short. Then
I think though this is
Champions League final, right? Champions League final that you're talking about that I was mentioning. That game he played Thiago, which I personally believe Keita was doing better than Thiago at the time. Thiago had just came back from an injury. Yes, he had just came back. He had just came back from a period of injury where he shouldn't have.
No, it was that season we had that like NF2 thing that was going with. You're maybe talking about more about Henderson. Maybe he shouldn't have.
Even Henderson also in that game. Henderson should have not even.
Fabinho, Thiago midfield, but let's not forget how insane Thiago was. The semi-final was
I'm even gonna go to the other side. Even winning the Champions League, why did you choose for Bobby over what's his name? Origi. when Origi has been balling out, was the reason why we entered the finals in the first place.
Bro,
right?
no.
We end up winning. No. We end up winning.
Now you're doing too much.
No. I'm just saying.
About a game we won, bro.
But that's the thing. But this is the part. Let me land, and I'll let you talk.
We won. So
yes, we won. But that is the problem, because if we didn't win, guess what? Everybody else will be saying, "Why did you start Bobby?" And a lot of times he did that, and we didn't win.
Guys, we're gonna park this right here. I'm gonna thank Kwazi as usual. You're a star. I'm gonna thank Turab. You've been amazing.
Turab, good to see you, my brother.
Guys,
good to see
thank
you guys,
for
man.
joining in the
thank
first
you,
Cooling show on Playback. Hopefully, you guys will be joining us many weeks to come. Peace out. Hopefully, you guys can see yourself out. Otherwise, I'll have to boot your asses. So it's up to you.
No worries.
All right. Go with respect. Take care.
Peace.
Listen, I just want to read out some. I just want us to read out some comments from the YouTube, because obviously they're being neglected. They feel right.
How do I get out of here?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to do the. I'm gonna have to do the thing, man. Okay. So Manda Ronkon says Klopp doesn't throw players under the bus. Never did. Okay. Hacker says Klopp deserves a class send off. Grizz has that right. The players need to come together. But then the other people say, like, why would you give an opportunity to the players that have... Oh, sorry, there you go. Grizz, how is it up to the main guys who stunk up the joint to play for their futures rather than throw the kids into a hole they didn't create? Look, Mush had an opinion.
That point you made, yeah, I just want to say the point you made about giving Klopp the send-off he deserves, the point I'm trying to say about using players who have not been part of the failures of the past weeks is to give us what I feel is a better chance of that good send-off. Because repeating the same things again and again that we're doing in these last 4 or 5 games is madness at the moment. Like, I want to see what other players can do in that same area.
I would absolutely agree with you, and I've been in this boat when there's not a new manager coming in, and it's not at the end of a legacy and era. I absolutely agree with you. But my point is, look, we've got hopefully I've got Tom Little joining us now. Panman, you're in the building as well to ask. To come on. Are you a Liverpool fan? Just let me know in the chat. Message me because I think we're on a Liverpool segment right now. Tom, hope you're doing well. What are you wearing? A Dortmund top today? What's that in aid of?
Marco Reus. It's a Marco Reus top because obviously it was just after he announced he was going to leave Dortmund, so felt a little bit of solidarity with him.
No, fair point. Look, Royce is leaving. We're not going to sign Royce.
We're not signing Royce.
That is one of the biggest travesties of the last few transfer windows. It seems we didn't actually get to sign Royce after our owner suggested we go sign Royce himself. So I don't know why he didn't do it. But
get him, man. He'll low-key cook,
Huh?
he'll low-key cook. We need to get him. He might do something,
But Tom,
I'm playing,
you've been listening. Tom, you've been listening to the topics and conversations. Some were agreeing, some were disagreeing. I don't know if you want to add to that or you've got your own topics.
If Tom's here and we want to refresh, I'm kind of ironically going into... Remember, I prepared some good questions before that I was telling you about. I think this would be a good chance to bring.
Tom, are you okay with that, or did you have something in mind?
I'm all good with it.
Tom, mate, I know you'll have plenty to say. So this will be a question to all of you and a group discussion. Chat, everyone get involved. Based on where Arsenal and City are at the moment, who are very established teams in what they want to do. Their model is clear, and that's probably Arsenal are going to be who they are for the next 3-4 years minimum.
Model, but yeah.
You know what I mean? The structure is solidified, right? They're further down. Would you guys be in favor of a refresh or a revolution? So what I mean by that is we are currently, let's say if Arsenal and City end on 90 to 92, we are going to end on 80 to 83. So let's say we're 8 points-ish behind. Does that require a refresh or does it require a revolution?
I think it's a refresh. It's a refresh more than a rebuild because up until a month ago, we were saying we can win this title. It was ultimately just the worst of both worlds collided at the same time in terms of, the injured players came back and weren't great, and then the players who'd had to play week in, week out throughout that
Ran out
time
of
were just
steam.
seeing their arse in terms of fitness. That came together, and you're just like, oh, this team's done on its legs. Next year, you add a couple of legs in there, especially with the refresh of a new DM potentially coming in, a new fullback on the left who can just give you even more energy. I feel you can take that on beyond. I didn't think we would be in this position going into this season. I'll be honest. I didn't think in April I'd be sitting there going, we can win this title. Obviously, what's happened has happened, and it's disappointing. But on the season as a whole, I'm not sitting there going, oh, it's a disgrace. It's this, it's that. So I look back at it and go, this squad doesn't need to be blown up, sort of thing. It needs a couple of players to be moved on whilst we can still get some value for them. It needs a couple of young players to come in who've been, identified by that very good scouting and recruitment team that we've brought back for a lot of money. And then we build again under a manager who is seemingly this recruitment guy's creme de la creme, his piece de resistance, his guy who he's identified as the best to take this next step on this team. I'm not seeing the point of a big sort of 7 players out, 7 players in, 2 years trying to figure it out, because
some people are. That's why I'm interested to know where you sit.
I think the people looking at it like that are looking at it with a very glass half empty sort of view, with the Van Dijk, Salah, Trent, all them will go in one window and then we're going to be blown up. I'm going to have to figure it all out again. Well, I don't think that's the case. I think maybe one leaves. Maybe Salah goes. Maybe Trent goes. But the other 2 stay. And then you just build around that core. To be honest.
Tom, there seems to be an echo coming from your side. I don't know what it is. Maybe something in the background. Check it out. Mohammed, good question. Revolution or
refresh?
Refresh.
Definitely a refresh. I agree with everything that Tom said. I think I'm echoing now as well.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah.
Am I all right?
Yeah, you seem to be okay. Am I okay?
Yeah, you're okay.
No, you're echoing as well.
No, I'm echoing as well.
Oh, is it? I don't know. Let me have a monologue then, boys. I'll carry on joking.
Now, listen, mute yourself as well. Let me mute myself and let the person only speaking and see what happens.
Yeah. I think there's no echo now, so that's sound. No, I agree with everything that Tom just said, to be honest. Like, in terms of, if you look at it this season, at the beginning of the season, none of us, and myself included, I didn't really see us being in the title race, being in the title push. We've come to March, towards the end of April, and look, everything's just collapsed upon itself, and it's very unfortunate. And 100% wholeheartedly agree with what Tom said. 2 things collided at the same time, 2 catastrophic things. Like, the players are returning, they're not match fit, and we've got the players that have been playing week in, week out, and they're running out of steam, running out of energy, and we just went kaput. Next season, it is interesting because we say that we want a little bit. I'm saying that I want just a little bit of a refresh, and then we push again. But I feel like we kind of underestimated how big of a change is about to happen next season. And like, history has shown us with United and with Arsenal, that first season after such a huge manager leaves the football club is never easy. But hopefully Michael Edwards and whoever else is in charge of the board, they can use those lessons from history, from the past of United, of Arsenal, and we can learn where they went wrong, what mistakes they made, and hopefully just try and adapt this season. Arne Slot is the perfect first step, obviously, with his tactics being very closely aligned to Klopp, and it fits the club structure and everything. Hopefully sorting out the Salah situation, and then if we can just add a few plays in certain positions, maybe like, I love Robertson to bits, but I feel like Robertson maybe should take a little bit of a step back, perhaps, or not even take a step back. Perhaps I personally believe Shimaka should leave. Like, I think this summer he has to go. Like, goodbye, thanks for your service. But then you bring in a top class left back. Yeah, you bring in a top class left back that can push Robertson. And I don't mean somebody who's in the realms of a Simicast. I mean somebody like a Ryan Aït-Nouri, like maybe even an Anthony Robinson, somebody who can be first team, but they don't have to be first team straight away. Similar to Robertson and Moreno situation from years ago. I'm echoing again. And then obviously the most important thing for me as well is the number 6, as we was talking about before, in the chat. Like I think that is just critical, not just for the midfield but for the defense, because I'm sick and tired of leaking goals every game, go 1 goal behind. Seeing that stat that I was talking to you about before. Oh, Liverpool have got 29 points from losing positions. I never want to see that stat ever again. Don't want to see that graphic. So get that DM in. But yeah, definitely long. And like, I think I've just went a long route to answer your question. I think definitely, yeah, it's a refresh. We've got the equipment. We've got everything that we need there. But the main thing is Nunes as well. I don't know whether we want to start the Nunes talk now.
I was going to ask that. I was going to evolve the conversation to that point, right? So, but depending on whether you are refresh or revolution, Grizz, well, I'm interested to know what you think about this. If we know that Arne Slot likes 2, how can I describe it, penetrative, meaningful wingers who want to be part of 1v1 situations, a striker that can link up with people, what does a refreshed Liverpool attack look like on match day 1 in August 2024 to you?
Yeah, why don't you ask me?
Let's go for the big question.
The most difficult question. I mean, look, first and foremost, as I said, and I'm very, very adamant on this, I don't necessarily believe a coach takes one formation, one way of playing into all the clubs and into all his players blindly. So if we hope and expect Arne Slot to be the great coach that he is, we are hoping, we are expecting him to come in and assess accordingly the talent pool he's got at his disposal. He will see Nunes in training. Might be a sight for sore eyes, but he will assess Nunes in training, Diaz in training. He will know Diaz, of course. He will know Cody Gakpo, guys. I think we may have a joker in the pack? Not a joker, a wild card. I don't know. I think Cody Gakpo, he will know probably the most about being Dutch, playing in his league for many seasons. In fact, Cody Gakpo played all his life in Eredivisie, right, before he came to Liverpool. And Arne Slot obviously is only coached in Holland, I believe, as well. I think it's all about assessment, man. I can't sit here for sure. I can't sit here. Now, what's his current striker like at Feyenoord? We know is Jimenez, right, guys? And Jimenez, by all accounts, look at me doing all the accent and shit. Jimenez is, by all accounts, is a very polished number 9 in terms of his all-round game. Now, we know Mr. Darwin Nunes is anything but polished. But we have seen elements and games and phases of season where he did look polished, but then it took away his other traits, which he prefers, of just running in behind. But if you're saying, or we're all assessing Arne Slot's wingers are the ones that run in behind, take on players, it goes back to the old style of Liverpool, where it's 2 attacking one-on-one wide men, scoring lots of goals, and our forward being a Bobby Firmino, knitting it together type player. Jota ain't that. Nunes ain't that.
So, Grizz, do you think then, just based on your assessments, like you said, Arne Slot will do his own assessments, and this extends to Mo and Tom as well. Do you guys think come the first day of next season, we are going to see a new purchase as part of the attack? Will there be a non-Liverpool player currently playing for Liverpool at the start of next season?
Yes, but he won't be up front.
Yeah, I agree.
He'll be on
so an attacker, but not a striker. Is that what
I could see us buying 2 wingers. I believe that the next step forward is to buy 2 wide players.
Rest of us go on mute. Let's see if it works. Sorry, go on, Tom.
I can hear Tom fine, by the way. I can hear Tom absolutely fine. I don't know if it's everyone else.
It might be me, and it might be time for me to jump after this. But I believe the next step forward is by 2 wingers who can do the job that Arne Slot wants, which is dynamic 1v1 players who can beat a fullback and create, and then get Salah up top, where he's not having to do as much running. but he's not having to do as much 1v1 gameplay, and you're focusing on what he is exceptional at because he's won 3 golden boots at it, and a Premier League Player of the Year, or a Premier League assist maker, and 2 Premier League Player of the Years, as the main guy for scoring goals and the main guy for linking up an attack. You have him as your striker with, for example, say, a Nico Williams and a Mohamed Kudus, either wing, to link up and create with a Szoboszlai behind. I think that's a front three that can score close to 100 goals a season, because you've got a guy that can get you 30 on his own up there. All you need then is 15 from the rest, and then the natural assessment of assists beyond that. And all of a sudden, you've got a 100 goal and assist attack. That's enough to win leagues. And it not only is it enough to win leagues, it's an attack that, beyond the striker, is young enough to develop and play beyond that for years to come. And at that point, you're not worrying about, well, I've got to the Salah, but I need to find a left winger and a right winger. It's, I've got to the Salah. Who's my next striker? Who's the guy I can trust to do what he done up top? Now, that's going to be a hard replacement in any day of the week. But it's easier than what most people think we've got now, where you need to buy new right wingers to replace Salah. They need to find a striker who's more durable than Jota and more reliable than Nunes. And then should Diaz go in the summer, you need a new left winger. And then in the 10, you know, Szoboszlai's a little bit lacking some technical qualities. Instead of having to go and find 4 players, you go chuck Salah up top, buy 2 dynamic wingers, and you only need 1 player. And that's a replacement for Salah then. And I think everything clicks into place. Whether Slot does that is a little bit of a different kettle of fish. But for me, I don't see how Salah's long-term future as a footballer, not just at Liverpool, but as a footballer as a whole, is him on the right wing. Because I think the way his career is going now is you need to get him as close to the box and as close to the goal as possible, and use that elite finishing ability as much as you can. Very much like the Ronaldo evolution that he had.
Tom, Mohamed, I'm gonna remove Tom, not because I don't like him, I love him to bits, but he's got awful echo. But you made some great points as per usual, and hope to speak soon, Tom. Look after yourself.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Chris, because I'm actually gonna have to get off now, but I'm echoing even more now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
We'll check this out, guys. Hopefully,
yeah, Mo, you're echoing a lot.
Yeah, I was echoing bad there. Yeah, I don't think I'm echoing now, but I am, and it's annoying me because I can hear the playback. But I'm actually gonna get off soon. Actually, Chris, I need to get off and go somewhere. But before I go, I was gonna say, although I'm probably Nunes' biggest critic, and I'm not his biggest fan. I haven't been his fan. You can go through my Twitter. You can see since the day we've signed him, I just have not rated this guy. But I'm not a football manager. I'm not a football coach, and I believe any coach in the world would try their hardest to get the best out of Darwin Nunes. And I think he will be our starting striker next season. I think he will be the number 9. I think Arne Slot will try his. I think it's going to be like an experiment for him.
Project.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what the best way to describe. I feel like he'll get more satisfaction and more fulfillment out of unleashing the Nunes that we know he could possibly be. Because we know that there's a football player there in Darwin Nunes.
But then Mo, don't you feel that he's such a risk in terms of if you're new at Liverpool, you have no grace. Darwin Nunes could get you sacked if he doesn't perform, right?
I 100% agree. But the thing is, on the flip of that, Darwin Nunes could go and score you 30 goals a season. And me personally, as football fans, as Liverpool fans, I'm sick and tired of him. I can't stand this guy missing 20 chances every game. I know I'm exaggerating, that's a lot. But I'm sick and tired of it. But with an elite football manager, seeing all the ability with his speed, with his strength, with his runs that he makes in behind and stuff, like, he does a lot of all the attributes are there. A good coach would hopefully want to coach the best out of Darwin Nunes, and I think he will be our starting striker next season. But Grizz, Mush, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved talking to you guys, and obviously JK and Pam Man have just joined. Hopefully we'll be on the stream next time. This is cooking up a lot, fam. So yeah, man, we'll chat soon on here and there. So
peace out, Mohamed. Catch up in a bit.
Peace out, and hopefully tomorrow we win. Up the Reds.
Exactly. That's the main thing. Right, let's hopefully this echo business is handled now. Guys, introduce yourselves and let us know who you support and what you want to talk about. Panman, you go first.
Yeah, name's Panman. What I want to speak about.
Who do you support, bro?
Sorry, Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, man. Of course. What I want to speak about, I can write a book. Like I've been waiting. I've been waiting for Grizz to do one of these call-ins because I
Grizz,
can.
Sorry, Padman. Before you go, Grizz, it's you who's echoing. Yeah, go for it, Padman.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, what I want to speak about, I can speak over an hour, like easy. Like I was driving down here and I was like, boy, I don't even know what point. But just to keep with the flow, on the topic of Nunes, I've been walking around this room just like cussing on my ones when no one's watching. But I'll tell you my thing with Nunes, right? That Everton chance, right? To me, that said a lot. And it's probably been my biggest frustration with not just Nunes, but all forwards, especially Salah since he's come back from injury. For me, it's of course it's the fact that they're missing, but the biggest thing to me is how our forwards are missing this season. When Liverpool were in our heyday about 4 years ago, the 18, 19, 19, 20, I feel like when our forwards missed, you respected their decision in actually how to score, but they're human. Sometimes it doesn't.
It was just poor execution or something.
No, I don't even think. For example, the biggest chance I can pull up again is the Nunes against Everton. I don't think that was poor execution.
No, I'm saying in our heyday, it was just poor execution of the right intention.
Yeah, exactly. You take Nunes against Everton, right? That to me, where do I start on that? My blood's gonna get hot. that to me was a striker who is not confident in his ability to score. For me, you have a big, the gap is there to slam the ball in, right? But there's a reason you didn't even try put it where the goalkeeper's not. Reason being, that's a harder option than what you went for. Just hitting it straight at the keeper, almost like safety lock.
Panman, how do you then explain? Yeah. How do you then explain his finish against Brentford?
Bring me in, Chris. This is my point. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. Where he's, oh Lord, give me strength. He's too. He's emotional. He's emotional in goal. I saw the shot conversion rate, and I've seen how many shots that brother has taken. So yes, we can put out the 2 against Newcastle. I was looking at those finishes, and I was going as far to say, and the finish against Brentford, I can't pick out too many strikers in world football who could have scored those goals as comprehensive. So what I'm saying is, I feel if you're not, I doubt that guy is. I don't know if you guys saw Sturridge on Sky Sports when he was saying you can't just do the striking and drilling and training where you just hit the ball and hit. You have to get in certain positions. If you are confident in your ability and you're a comprehensive striker, that is bread and butter. Not that he missed. Like I said, I know what you're saying, Grizz, but what I'm saying is we've caught him on 2 days when he's in the mood.
Panman, can I ask you a question, Panman? What part of London are you from?
I ain't just outside Wickham. I don't know if you know it.
Okay, Wickham. Yeah, I know where Wickham is. My parents, live near Slough, so yeah, I know where Wickham is. So I was going to say, if you went to any Sunday League pitch, I'm sure there's people listening from all over the world, yeah? If you went to Hackney Marshes, yeah, and that chance you're talking about, and you saw a striker with the whole side of the goal empty, and he chose to blast it at the keeper, would you rate that striker?
No, he's scared. He was scared.
So if you're a scout, for example, and you go to watch a young player play, academy player, and he made that choice, would you say that that player has a future? Based on that, if you know that those are the kinds of chances when I score 20 goals a season, I'm going to be filling my bucket with that. Would you say that is a player I can trust to fill his bucket?
Yeah, but the thing is that sample size, if we were basing it on that sample size, no. But then at the same time, that's the same thing as like we can pick out a Haaland sit-up and then say, does that kid have... I know what you're saying, but for me, Nunes, he needs either two things.
How do you teach it? How do you teach it? That's what I want to know, bro.
I just think...
You can't teach it.
I think you can.
Let the brother come in as well because he's been waiting patiently.
I'm listening. I'm a join in as the conversation's going, but you can't teach that. Finishing something you have or you don't.
Nah, I think you can
improve on it, but it's a natural thing. Do you know what I mean? Finishers know where to be. They know what runs to make. They know what positions to be in the box. They know how to mentally be calm in them high pressured moments. When you listen to people like Gary Lineker, Michael Owen talk about how they finish, they say the same thing, and you can't teach that.
Can I play you guys? Can I play you guys a video someone's put in the chat? It's someone I follow and someone who follows me as well. It's at Red FXB. Make sure you go and follow him, guys. He's put a tweet in the chat, right? Let's watch this together and we can talk on it as well. So obviously he says, Arne Slot, I hear you have that player development touch. Nunes needs one. We honestly have something on our hands. Now, these are just some of his finishes. Go on.
No fans. I saw this, but this is what I was going to say.
Is that what you're going to say? No fans, yeah?
No fans. So no, Chris, that's a big point for me.
I hear it.
Shall I tell you why? For me, you made the good point, Chris, on the finishes he has made. But for me, Nunes' biggest weakness, based on those finishes, based on his whole sample size at Liverpool, his biggest weakness to me is here and it's in here. It's not so much if he has the ability to finish. His Everton chance, that was a panic mode. You know, like the best players in the world, when they get in certain positions, they freeze. They're calm, like he did against Sheffield. But there's a reason he can't do it consistently. And I just think he needs to just practice and train that nervousness out of him. So when because he can do it, but his temperament. I think you can, bro. I think you can.
But there is no way ever to replicate a high pressure situation in a game. That's why you can practice penalties 100 times. But when you get to the final or you get to that crunch moment, people miss. It's because you can't ever replicate.
Look at these finishes.
Exactly, Chris. I hear you, Chris. But that's my point. I just feel if he's because all right. For example, the Everton chance. I know in Nunes' ability, he can bury that. It's not like he missed, and I'm saying, man, he doesn't have the ability to finish. I just think he's too shook in front of goal to take the harder option, which is going to put it. Because if he blasts at the keeper, you know, he can say, "Oh, I hit the target." You know, I'm going to get the Nunes. I've hit the comfort zone. It's his mentality. And another thing, what you're saying, bro. What I'm saying is, the biggest thing that winds me up about watching Nunes on the screen is when he misses, yeah? I don't know about you lot, but if I annoyed my parents, I am avoiding them. This guy would hit offside and he look at Klopp. You see on the TV, he'll be offside and he looks at Klopp like, hey, boss, did you see that? I did it again, you know, I'm offside, but I'll soon come. You know what I mean? It looks like he misses. He's looking at Klopp like, soon come, Hermano, soon come. Pattern up, like you should be. He needs, I just feel like, I don't know if you've seen, like, I remember Troy Deeney, I know it's like Deeney, but I remember saying when he got in with Zola, a striker who knows the game, he's drilling him like the boring drills, hit the corner, bottom left, middle left, so on and so forth. I think you can train it out, but I will say right now, I don't trust him because when I was thinking about it, Nunes' first season, Liverpool was, you know, the big not even transition. We weren't really playing for anything. Or, you know, I'm not saying at the start of the season, but as the season developed, Liverpool weren't playing. So it was kind of relatively a low pressure season, if you like. So the misses he's making, we're not viewing it as, man, we need these points today. It's kind of, hey, start of this season, our first choice midfield this season is all of their debut seasons for Liverpool. It's kind of like we didn't know what to expect. So at the, you know, first 3/4 of the season, we're kind of like, you know, we'll see where it gets. This was our first sample size of viewing Nunes when the pressure is on. And it's like, whether we like it or not, start of the season, all the new transition, we're here now. Yeah, so it's the pressure
Handman,
moment.
can I ask you one question? On the first game in August next season, is Darwin Núñez in your starting 11?
Right now, yeah, because who else? I'm not a fan of Gap. I'm not a fan of Gakpo in there. And I remember what Mo was saying before. I wouldn't put Salah
But
in
let's
there.
say there's money though. Does money and a transfer mean that Darwin doesn't start for you, or you persist?
All right, let's play it like the Jimenez guy who Arne Slot now. If Jimenez is in, I'm saying start Jimenez. Do you know what I mean? I am because I feel like Darwin
Jota,
has.
guys. Why are we not talking about Jota?
Because
Mush, I think you need headphones. It's you know that, Mush.
Oh, is it me? Let me get
headphones.
Because the thing, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Grizz, about Jota. I don't.
Are you
know.
selling him? What are you doing?
No chance. Jota's my guy, 100%.
So if you're not selling him, that means, let's say, start of the season, we pray to the Lord that he's fit, right? Because he's going to be fit, right? We're hoping. Why are we having a debate here?
That's a fantasy. That's a fantasy, Grizz.
Because Grizz, I think that's
every season he's been at the club, he's been out for at least 2 months. Every season he's been at the club. Listen, I don't want to because Jota is the most technical striker we have at the club. But this season has just proved to us in our crunch moments when we needed him, he was injured. And it's been the same thing for the past 3-4 seasons that he's been here.
So what are you doing? What are you doing then?
Me, listen, if
hardcore, make it.
Yeah, I get rid of him. I get rid of him. I love him, but I would. To be fair, listen. The difference between us as Liverpool and Pep as a Man City guy is he has that winning mentality. He's ruthless. He doesn't care. If somebody is too injury prone, somebody is not showing up, somebody's not giving, he'll get rid of them and he'll bring in a new. He doesn't hold on to any sentiments. Jota's been here 4 seasons now. Yeah. And every season he's been out for at least 2 months. At least 2 months. Can you really hold on to that?
Yes, because like what because if we let him go, there's no gap. Because I'll hold on to that because if you're letting
Jota go,
we're holding on
saying
to work.
Núñez ain't the one, and Salah's only got 1-2 seasons left. Lord.
Nah,
you're looking rebuild in midfield. We've just done a rebuild in midfield. We're hoping, and we're definitely going to get a centre back and a left back. So that should be the rebuild in in defense. So we've done a rebuild in midfield. We're looking for a number 6. That should be the rebuild done in midfield. We've done a rebuild in defense after we bought a centre back and a left back. Now, are we saying that we need to rebuild up front as well?
No, but
because Panman, I'm not letting you off either because you said you don't trust none of the guys up front.
No. I'll say my frustration with with our forwards this season. Like I can even go into Diaz. Like his chance against City when he's put through. I haven't even played to the level of semi-pro football. But if you're trying to put it wide of the keeper, unless the goal is wide, you need to bend it round him. He didn't even look like he tried to bend it round him. It's how they're missing their decision making of the shot. I've been frustrated. I wouldn't get rid of Salah, but I've been frustrated with him. I've just been frustrated.
We hear the frustration, but what we're saying is we need to be practical.
I was going to say, firstly, is my sound a bit better?
Oh man, it's an echo, man. I don't know what it is.
One sec. You guys carry on.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing about this is we're talking about forwards. I've heard that Arne Slot he likes to play Arne Slot likes to play 4-2-3-1. That is my prayer. That's my favorite formation. I feel like you can get every type of footballer there is in that formation from the midfield.
Check this out. Let's play a game. Let's pick our team 4-2-3-1. Let's pick our team if it was Arne Slot coming in tomorrow. Who fits into that 4-2-3-1? Let's do this.
Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Khanage, Robertson, Endo, McAllister. Right now, I'm going to go Gakpo because I don't know about everyone, but when Gakpo's on the ball, I'm on the edge of my seat more than Diaz because I'm thinking this guy can get a sharp shot off. He looks comprehensible in that left. Salah on the right, Szoboszlai in the 10. You said tomorrow, but if Jota's fit, I put Jota up top. If not, Nunes. Because I just feel, and the other thing, on another topic, that number 10, Fabio, let's see what you can do, Carvalho. That's what it's an opportunity for me because he likes to talk like, oh, I'm a number 10, I'm a number 10. I think that 10, and in football, the 10's missing, but that 10, I feel we can see Szoboszlai because I'm seeing Szoboszlai like a couple of days ago, and he's hugging the touchline, and he ain't effective there. You know, I would like to see that, but yeah, that would be my 4-2-3-1 because that would be I want 4-2-3-1 at this club.
My bro, pick your 4-2-3-1 as well.
It's a tough one, to be honest with you. And the only reason I say it's a tough one, are you talking about all players fit? Yeah, going into it.
Yep, everyone fit and in form.
Everyone's fit and in form. Oh, then that's simple. Alisson, Trent, Konate, VVD, Robbo. Obviously, you got the 4-2-3-1, so you're picking Mac in the 10. And right now, I would go with Endo because, to be honest with you, if that's all we have as a DM, you need him there. I don't think you could play anybody else as a not as a 10, sorry, as a double pivot. I don't think you could play anybody else there at this moment of time. I would give Sobo that chance in the number 10 role. I feel like he needs that opportunity to play in that number 10 role. Gakpo is our natural left winger. Salah is our natural right. And then I did say sell him, but if he's fit and in form, then Jota's up top and Nunes is on the bench. At this moment of time, I'd play Gakpo on the left wing over Diaz, although I feel like Diaz is getting too much slack. I think he's been our best attacker over the past 6 weeks. He's getting way too much slack for the output. We
forget the brother's father got kidnapped in the middle of the season.
And I think you could tell.
Guys, do we know what that means to a professional athlete who's playing at the highest level? I can't imagine that happening to me, man. I don't know what I would do, people. And you're telling me that we're expected to handle that business and then perform at the highest level on a football pitch, even though he tried. I can't imagine it, guys. Like, we taking it for jokes and granted because his father's come back like Saturday Night Fever and that, man. Every weekend, man's out partying and that, right? So his fathers are done still. So shout out Luis Diaz's father. But ultimately, that's deep, man. We're not realizing that he's had a couple of niggling injuries as well last season as well. It's been a stop-start season for him. And I've been the most frustrated. I'm not even going to lie. So you know how Panman's been getting mad about Nunes? I've been frustrated with Diaz as well. But only why? You know what we forget, guys? The reason why we're so harsh on these players is because we've had the baddest 3 the Premier League has ever seen. And that's why in our heads, we're like, yo, we've had cream of the crop. And now we're watching these people. So our standards, of course, are at an all-time high because Bobby, Mane, Salah, and then man like Origi, and then later on Jota were a surplus. You get it? So now we're watching Nunes, now we're watching Diaz, now we're watching Gakpo, we're saying, and now we're watching an older Salah. We're getting frustrated. But I think we need to just realign a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think it's like our weakest attack since 07. I was going through our attacks. 07 was Torres, 11 Suarez came, and then when he left, we still had Bobby. I can't remember
the weakest attack since 07, bro. Yeah, after Suarez left, we had Balotelli, Barini, and Lambert in 14, 15.
But we still had Sturridge. Didn't we have? We still had Sturridge.
We had Sturridge, but Sturridge is on the sick bed. What do you mean?
Yeah, but we had what I'm saying is we had someone up top where you give them a chance, they're burying it. We always had that.
Guys, mentioned Sturridge. Can I share a video? Shall we watch a video of what Sturridge and Rooney? I don't know if you guys have seen that. What Sturridge and Rooney said we can do with the brother. Yeah. Now hold on, give me 2 seconds. Let me work this shit out. Give me one.
Whilst you're loading it, I want to say a quick thing about Diaz's dad. I went Anfield for when we played Lask,
Mhm.
and I was looking for my seat, and the
Mhm.
brother was just like walking around with his family. Like
Yeah,
this is
he's a
like
madman.
when it was like fresh, and I was with my girl, and I was like, "Yo, boss, like nice to see you," but he looked like terrified because I just tapped it. Like, good to see. It's like, yeah, he was walking into like the VIP, and my girl said, "Who was that?" He looked scared. I was like, "Yeah, no, but
Nah,
yeah,
he's
it's cool."
cool.
That's
Let's
what I was
play
talking
this.
about.
Let's.
You know, one day it could be unreal, the next game not so good. But look, the potential's there. We know against most defenders he's going to cause problems. It's just, is he going to be calm on that particular day in front of goal? And there's certain games where I've seen him be very calm in front of goal and use his side foot, pick his spot and be nice. And then there's other games where it's like he's almost snatching at chances. And I think a game like today, I'm sure there's going to be players in there saying, hey, you know, be calm out there today because these fans are going to be getting you riled up and you don't want the game to get away from him. So I think for me, look, the potential's there, as I've said before. I think in front of goal, we know we can improve. But I think if he's doing the work behind the scenes, he's, like I've always said, watching clips on himself.
Oh, this is a man who knows.
Reaching out to people for advice.
This is deep. This is deep.
Both feet, heading, positioning, these
Yeah.
type of things. I'm sure Wayne can, you know, explain the same sorts of things I'm talking about with him too.
I wouldn't want to, like, if I was a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't want to change too much in him because I think he's very raw. And, you know, he's very difficult to mark. And it's just that final piece, that little bit of composure in front of goal. I think that's if that clicks, I think he's a superstar.
What could he do tonight, though? Because this is going to be an Everton defence who want to play really deep, you'd expect. His pace is obviously fantastic, big part of his game. What tonight, if you were coming up against that, do you think he should do?
I think just be patient. Be patient, be in around the goal, be in the middle of the goal. Obviously, Liverpool have got quality in the wide areas, especially obviously with Trent and Alexander-Arnold come back into the team now. And just be ready for when them chances come. So just be patient.
Hold his position.
And hold your position and let the other players do the work for you.
Yeah, I think he does like to drift to that left, which is, you know, probably one of the weaker areas for Everton. You know, Ashley Young's been great, so I'm not pinpointing him as the problem here, but I'm saying Darwin likes to drift to that position, cuts inside, gets his shots off. I do think it is important to have that focal point tonight because that defence, you know, Everton's defence are actually one of the better defences in the Premier League, you know, so against them you want that.
Space won't be there tonight because the midfielders will double up and so if he comes out to the left and Liverpool ends up having to put balls in the box, he needs to be in there.
That's exactly what I was saying, though. You see how they're saying it's like about composure. That's what I think his biggest weakness isn't even like his actual like practical ability. It's his composure up here and then here, getting a chance. Like you said, composure and just calm and just like, I believe in my ability. I know what to do. Let me do it. And I just feel like, how do you build that confidence? I just think behind closed doors in training, practicing those sort of shots over and over and training that nervousness out of you. It's like, it's not even just football. It's just I remember Grizz them speaking about it after the game when Carragher said that miss was unforgivable. And Rooney was saying, like, Sturridge asked Rooney, like, how do you do it? And Rooney said, like, it wasn't even like ability. Rooney was talking about it's what's the word, like, not channeling your mind, but programming your mind. Just like it's almost like there, you don't have to think about it. You know, I just think it's repetition will take that out of him. It's either that or a top coach just going brutal with him, like corners. If you don't hit the corner, you know what I mean, you're sacked. I'm joking, but like you know what I mean. Like he needs.
Can I ask you a question? In that time of him discovering and us discovering whether he can do that, are we gonna, as a club, our objectives on the line in the wait for him to discover that? Because the way I see it is maybe if we can maybe get a striker in or a player in or attacker who moves Darwin a little down the pecking order. So if he does discover it, then that's a great upside. But if he doesn't, then we don't sacrifice everything. Do you get what I mean? Because right now we're in a place of like, if this Darwin thing doesn't work out, no one else is getting the time or the minutes to build up, you know, an ability to save our team.
If I could have any choice, right? If we bring in a striker who everything I'm saying, Darwin needs to do this and does that, but a striker who can do it now, I couldn't business about that. Like, if he's Darwin is a backup, cool. If we bring in a striker who can do all these things now, then do it.
Is Isaac's available? Would you say bye to Darwin there and then?
Who? Sorry,
Alexander Isak at Newcastle.
You're getting Isak and you're bringing in Jota 2.0.
Okay.
What do you mean by that?
You're a clinical finisher, but another man is going to be out for a couple months every season.
The injury prone type thing.
Okay. I was going
I
to
thought
say...
you were saying ability, bro, because Isak is a baller, bro. I think he's got more ability.
Yeah. They're both elite ballers and they're both elite finishers. You can see it in the way that they play.
I'll say this: Diego Jota.
I can't lie on a man that gets injured so much. Do you know what I mean?
We didn't catch your name, bro. How do you say your name?
My name is Joshua.
Joshua.
Yeah.
I think Joshua's made his mind up that he don't want no injury-prone players.
It's not even that. Listen, when you're going,
I hear you, because it's frustrating.
When you're going for titles, you need consistency. We saw that throughout the tenure that we was on top. We had a consistent
We
team.
knew our best
Arsenal
11
team,
every week.
Exactly, we knew it. Look at this Arsenal team right now. They've got a consistent team. Yeah. People said Arsenal bottled it last year because they lost Saliba. Yeah. They said they bottled it because they lost Saliba. We've lost 8 or 9 players this season. Yeah. And one of our main people that we lost was, our main finishers that we lost was Jota. Let's be honest. In the crunch time. And you just can't rely on that in a title race. You can't rely on that at all.
I'll say this, on ability alone, I feel Jota is Premier League title winning comfy. I feel like winning the Premier League with him as a top, he's in his depth. And I think you put Jota in a Champions League final, I'm comfy. Up top, I feel like if we get a league, because I remember early on you guys were saying
much more
that.
than Nunes.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if Jota's up front, I don't care who the defense is. I say you give that guy a snap. He's taking his chances. I say if we do bring in another striker, when you said Isak, I don't see that Champions League final. You give that guy a sniff, he's burying it. I just feel that with Jota. So I feel if anyone we're bringing in needs to be Champions League final, I'm comfy. Premier League winning, I need that little sniff that's going to give us a chance. I'm comfy. I'm fine here. Suarez Champions League. Come on, I don't need to. You guys know about Suarez. The thing he did it the very next season. He left us. Them big stages, them big pressure situations. Because those big pressure situations is more. It's not all about the chance itself. I feel that's why, Grizz, when you're talking about Newcastle and you're talking about Sheffield, there's a reason. I feel there's a reason why Nunes is doing them top tier, good tier finishes then, but when it's in a title push, title race chance at the crunch end of the season, them finishes aren't going in because it's more than the practical chance itself. So
I was going to say that there's an element of that. I see your point about in the decisive moments, it's more a psychology thing than just an ability to finish. The place where I maybe disagree a bit is, I think compared to what Joshua said about what our best years look like, we don't have enough sure things in the team. And what I mean by that is in the last 3 to 5 years, Mo Salah is getting 20 to 25. Sadio Mane is getting 15 to 18. Bobby is getting 8 to 13, whatever it is. Yeah. I think the attackers we have are so not dependable in terms of the numbers required, just on a like a requirement perspective. Like for you to get somewhere, your attack needs to score 60 goals in the league, for example. We don't have any guaranteed players who are getting us to that 60. Do you get what I mean? The system is so good, they all get 20 chances a game. But now when you look at, even rival fans talk about our team, 3 years ago, they would have said, Mane is going to cook Zinchenko, for example. Or they would have said, Salah is going to cook, I don't know, Tierney, whatever. They'd use different examples. You look how people speak about Liverpool now. They speak about Liverpool's threat, but they never pinpoint a single player being because they don't
have the fear anymore. They don't fear us anymore.
Do you know the biggest thing that when we lost against the last game we lost, I saw something in a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool team that I never associated with Jurgen Klopp since his time being at the club. It was almost like a lack of hunger and desire, and maybe I am talking about the forwards. There's a goal Sadio Mane scored. It's not like a blockbuster. It's not like a goal I don't think many people remember. I don't know if any of you remember. It's when we were away at at Southampton, where the goal where Bobby did that celebration. I don't know if anyone remembers it, but Mane's goal that game for me epitomized everything about the guy. He was on the wing. He took a heavy touch, and all the defenders, it gives them hope. But it was two things that I loved about Mane. His desire to get to the ball when the defenders are coming in, but B, when he hit the ball, there was no fluke. The ball ended up in the goal exactly where he meant it to go, because it was that hunger of desire of, I need to eat today. I ain't taking no chances.
I don't think that's just hunger, Pan, man. Because the reason why I'm saying that, bro, is because when I think of Sadio Mane, when I think of him being put in a good weight of pass, and I know Sadio Mane has opened up his body to aim for the far corner, he has refined the ability to find that finish so repetitively. It's not just a mindset thing, it's also craft. Like, he's worked at finalizing that finish.
That's my point.
Darwin Núñez has not developed one finish that he can go to again and again. The same Newcastle chance that he tucked twice, if we remember at the start of the season, the season before, when we played Man City 3 times, he dragged that same chance 5 times in 3 games. So where our elite level attackers weren't just mentality monsters, they were also masters of their craft, bro. And I don't think we've got masters of their craft when it comes to goal scoring. I don't know, Joshua, if you feel like that as well, because I want to involve everyone, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, listen, obviously the argument is that Núñez is only 24, 25 or something like that, so he still has time to come into his
Can we use the word only with that?
I'm not hearing that.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't agree with that. He's been here 2 seasons now. This is going to be his 3rd season that he's going to come into. He needs to be more clinical. At the end of the day, he has cost us many times this season in regards to finishing chances. You tuck away some of those chances, even when we're 1-0 down, make it 1-1 with 40 minutes left to go. It changes the whole game. Yes, it changes the whole game. It changes the whole trajectory of the game. Do you know what I mean? So, in my opinion, I don't think Diaz is the problem. I think Gakpo now playing out on the left wing, he's now proved that he has some bite out there. Salah, obviously, we know is Salah and he can do what he does. Núñez is a great backup option, but we need to go and get that new striker who can finish his dinner.
Amen.
I'll ask you these guys this question though. Why? You might have spoke about it earlier because I wasn't on, but why do you guys think that we fell off this season so badly and nosedive so badly?
Mentality.
I think Tom was on, and I think Mohammed explained it earlier as well, who was co-hosting me earlier on, and me and Mush have touched on it before. I think it was a combination of things, guys. I think, when we had that batch of injuries, for me, when that game happened, when that win at Brentford, even though we were so gassed to win at Brentford, the loss of Jota, Curtis Jones, and then Mohamed Salah was forced to come on earlier than he should have, and as a result was out. Them 3 injuries, guys, for me, put us on the back foot badly, because up until then we were getting better. We had coped without the injured players. All the youngsters had come in and done their jobs, and now the elder or the more established players were coming back. So then what happened was we lost Mohamed Salah, Curtis Jones, and Jota. That is 3 of your bona fide cold-blooded killers. I mean, I put Curtis Jones in there, but Curtis Jones was pivotal. Then you add to that other injuries. Then Trent picks up an injury in the next following couple of weeks, and we not saying what do you want me to say about Trent that we as Liverpool fans don't already know? We know most of our impetus, attacking impetus, invention comes from that wand of a right foot. So you've taken away Salah, you've taken away Trent, you've taken away Jota, and you've taken away who did I just say? Curtis Jones. Come on. Now,
Grizz, I was going to say, just to add to that as well, guys, we all watch Prem. We've been watching it for decades, I'm sure. There's no surprise that often the Premier League winners have most of their first 11 that play 35 plus games. That is of no surprise. It's usually the case that the winners of the Premier League have the best defensive record. And I personally think that you cannot use up. Well, if you've had to come back 23 times in a season,
that's mad.
It's you've used up all the emotion and energy required for a full Premier League season
in just those comebacks
within 30 games. So there's 10 to 15 games left, and you've got no emotional energy left to do it. And what we didn't do well this season was give ourselves, if we remember in 18-19 and 19-20, boys, we had 10 to 12 easy weeks of 1-0, 2-0 wins with minimal energy expended, so that when it came to load them big performances, we could. But you can't load that level of emotion and energy and comebacks every week. And that is where it eventually ran out.
Yeah,
brothers,
you know what, I think
brothers.
sorry, I feel
last points, brothers, because I'm gonna have to call it a night.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just saying, Grizz, like your point about injuries. I agree to an extent, but I feel like credit to Klopp. Despite all those injuries, in the games when those players were missing, we were still having like an abundance of chances. Where I just feel it would have. I just still feel like we could have still took something from those games. I was actually thinking this year. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not like saying this is the case. Of course, how can I know? But I wouldn't be surprised something's gone on behind closed doors that we don't know about, because the drop off was like quick. It was since that United 4-3 that FA Cup game, which was criminal that we didn't get that. It wasn't the injuries. I feel like we've been rubbish with injuries like all season. Trent's been out for like a large patches of this season, and that fall off since that United game, it was a quick one.
Do you know what changed? Do you know what changed? You are spot on, but do you know what changed? It was that Jurgen Klopp, for the first time in 9 years at Liverpool, lost faith in the team. So in every post-match, after whenever Liverpool win or lose, he never criticizes the players. But that is the first time he said, these guys do not create the chances you take. And if they don't take their chances, he didn't say we, he said the word they. He said they will lose matches. So that disconnect between the manager and players happened for the first time ever.
Exactly, my brother. And imagine if he's saying that exactly what you said, and if that's the first time he said a comment in that angle in 9 years to the public, what do you think he's saying to them behind closed doors?
Josh, final word.
I'll just make this quickly. I feel like the drop off was not through the injuries. I think the drop off stems a little bit deeper than that. I think the drop off stems from us not refreshing from a couple seasons back. And allow me to quickly explain that. 1920, we was at the top of our game. We had the best in nearly every position in the world, or at least top 3 in nearly every position in the world, right? We never refreshed. Yeah. Obviously, we went through that season where we had Van Dijk out, and then our midfield had to drop back into the centre-back roles, yeah? Those midfielders, Fabinho, Henderson, were burnt out. And again, that summer, we didn't refresh the midfield. All we did was buy Khanage, and Khanage was a replacement for Lovren the previous year. Yeah, so that's all that we did. We then sent them into another season, which was the quadruple season, and again burnt out. There is no way at all a team should be replacing their whole midfield in one summer and hoping to go and challenge for a title. There is no way that can happen. You need to, you look at examples of teams like, and I'm not saying we're as good as Real Madrid, but you look at examples of teams like Real Madrid, yeah, where they keep their experienced players, like we could have kept a Hendo or a Fabinho, and then they add some young players in each season. You know, you've seen them buy young players each and every season just so they can learn off of those experienced players. I believe that if we never got rid of Fabinho and Hendo this season, and we would have added some midfielders in, which is Klopp's biggest engine room, the midfield is our biggest engine room. It relies, like Klopp's system relies on his midfield. Yeah. So if we would have refreshed that from a long time ago, and then we kept that experience in crunch time, experience is where it shows. And right now in crunch time, we have seen that the lack of experience that we have has now shown, because we say the injuries, but we had 8 games to go or 7 games to go, and we was 5 points ahead. Yeah, you win that United game by finishing a couple chances, and you give the boys a different impetus. And I'm sorry, I'm telling you this: you keep some experience. We lost Fabinho, Hendo, Millie, Firmino, Ox, Keita all in one season. You can't do that. You can't do that at all.
Josh.
So that's why I feel like we fell off.
Josh Panman, some great points. Lovely chatting to you, brothers, man. Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you for joining us, man. Hope you guys catch up with us in the next few weeks as well, man. We're going to be on every Saturday, man. So peace out. Take care.
You answered my question. Yeah. Man. All right, man. Love.
Take care. Bye-bye. We didn't even sort of get a chance to speak on the game tomorrow, Mush. But as we've said, it's a bit of a flat one. You want to see a whole heap of changes. I want to see the strongest possible 11, whatever that may mean. Whatever that may mean.
But I know. Strongest possible 11 may not include the players that it usually includes.
No, but they are the strongest 11. If they've been out of form for the last couple of weeks, doesn't mean they're not the strongest 11 overall. My point is, I think Klopp gives them a chance. I think Klopp picks his strongest, trusted 11 tomorrow. What are you saying tomorrow? Are you gonna watch the game?
Yeah. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna look, Grizz. It does not matter what this team does. The moment it kicks off and I hear the roar of that crowd, everything is forgiven and we just go again, man. What can we do, Grizz? We lost. We failed. We've had a horrible 2 weeks. But what is it? The end of my team? It's not. We've just got to go again, and I need to see it as some of these players are playing for their Liverpool futures, and I want to see them play like that.
I want to end with, actually, I want to put you on the spot, and then you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Who's playing for their futures tomorrow?
Oh, great!
You asked. You said it.
Yeah. I think players who are playing for their futures tomorrow. I think Darwin Núñez is playing for his future tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay, shall we pick three? Realistically.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
3.
As in, should we go? Let's go one each. So I've said Núñez. You give me one of yours.
Endo.
I can see that. I think. Ooh, this is good. I think. Am I going to say it? I'm going to say it. I think Andrew Robertson's playing for his future tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I say future, I don't mean...
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's not one game decides all, but now it's like the lights are bright and that manager who's coming in is watching very intently. You get what I mean?
Diaz.
Yeah. I agree with Diaz. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to say this, but I'm going to add why. I'm going to say Harvey Elliott, but in a positive sense, because I think Harvey Elliott can only make a good impression if he does good things, I think. So he can almost improve his standing in the squad. Any more for you?
No, we can't be fucking. We've named 4, man. We can't be naming any more than that. That's like unrealistic. We just said we don't want a revolution.
There was huge chat about, this week, Liverpool Twitter really surprised me, or Liverpool X, should I say.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't had the chance to speak about this, but big chat about people, even in the Koppen group, I must say, being done with Ibu Konate and saying that there might be better out there.
Let's hold that chat. Tomorrow will be Red Fellas. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow will be Red Fellas exclusively live back on YouTube. But during the week, me and Mush will be back and we will start a sell, keep.
Grizz, are we in court this week?
No, we'll save that for the.
Because I can't wait for the next courtroom.
We'll save that for the end of the season. Like, it's unfair if we do it like while the season's going on. We done a kind of, a Christmas special, a January, February special. But let's save it for the end of the season.
Yeah, that's a blockbuster one, isn't it?
It's gonna have to, and there's gonna have to be some hard decisions. Hard decisions. I was ready to make some hard decisions back then. Actually, you guys talked me out of some, so you guys got some explaining to do. I was looking to flog a few, and you lot changed. You actually overruled a couple of decisions.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Judge,
Listen, not
Judge
me.
Judy.
The judge. Yeah,
The judge in you. The
different
judge in you. Different persona. But
Alter
guys,
ego, bro.
guys, hope you've enjoyed that. It's been a mega stream, a mega stream. But I thought I have to bring it to playback. People on YouTube, there's still close to 200 of you on YouTube. You guys are the best in the world. I haven't neglected you guys. Redfellas will be back on YouTube tomorrow. Playback will be during the week. We'll probably do quick 45-minute segment shows on any breaking news, any topic, any rumors, any news to do with anything to do with football, not just Liverpool specific. So keep liking, keep subscribing, spread the word. We're trying to build a nice little community here. It's growing at the rate of knots. I think I'm close to 300 members in there already, which is fantastic going. And yeah, man, tomorrow, Liverpool, I want to see Klopp hugging, roaring, chanting, happy, smiling, fist pumping at the end. I want to see all of that, man. Yeah, let's just enjoy the last of Jurgen Klopp. Take care, people. Over and out.